Hello and welcome to Troy.
Already fucking off.
Oh, we're already right into it. We don't even need to introduce this episode. Yeah, this is Yolt presents Joker's Trick.
We live in a society.
This is a podcast where we're taking a look at all the cinematic Jokers, both official and unofficial. My name is Joke, or Jake.
I'm vengeance. I am the knight. I'm Bat Troy.
And I'm smoking. Somebody stop me.
All right, who let Jan wear an Ace Ventura t-shirt?
That's right, it's the 90s, everybody.
Welcome to the 90s.
We're reviewing The Mask today, right? I saw The Mask.
No. We're reviewing Tom and Jerry the movie.
Well, I have that edged into my brain, so I think I can do it.
Yeah, all of our reviews are really a review of Tom and Jerry, the movie.
So anyway, we're talking about Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Not The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Well, you raise a good point, Jan. Is The Mask with Jim Carrey a good Joker or a great Joker?
Oh, that's S tier Joker for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid Joker.
And I really like in The Mask how it has Jim Carrey like dealing with like the loss of his parents, and it has this like flashback structure, and it coincides with a revenge story in present day. It's really cool.
The Mask also dates a blonde in a red dress, much like Harley Quinn, who is surprisingly not in this movie we're going to talk today.
There's your connection. Yeah.
Yes, I have a theory about that, but we'll get to it.
Well, I have the actual reason behind that.
Well, but I have a funny theory.
All right, Paul has a funny theory, and I have cold, logical facts.
Because I'm a jokester.
Yes, this is a Joker podcast after all.
Yes.
So.
Is this the movie that's based on the Batman animated series?
That's right, Jan.
I fucking hate that show.
What?
Wait, is he talking about a cartoon?
It's for girls. It's for kids. I hate its amazing animation and immaculate atmosphere and complex characters. It fucking sucks.
And better writing than any other superhero and or Batman movie.
I like Kevin Hart movies. Give me Kevin Hart. That's a good actor.
Can you imagine that show for 4-year-olds and drug addicts would somehow produce the best movie that we'll ever review on this podcast?
Top Cat?
Top
Yes.
Cat? Well, you're correct. Top Cat, Mask of the Police Chief or whoever the hell is. What does he fight? A police chief?
Doesn't he just answer a phone?
Who's the little orange one again?
You guys got it all wrong. So the police chief is Matute, Oficial Matute, at least in Spanish.
Okay. It'd be weird if he had an English name.
These are the names that most people know him by. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
the purple one is from Yucatan, the Yucatan Peninsula.
That's the little one, right?
No, that's Benito Bodoque.
Oh, okay. Mask of Benito.
Wait, what is Top Cat's name in Spanish? Avante Gato?
No, Don Gato.
Don Gato?
Don Gato.
Don Gato.
Don Gato y sus Gunners.
What?
Oh, man, I don't know if I want to meet Top Cat Schooners.
The world of cartoons. Wait, is Top Cat a Warner Brothers? It's Hanna-Barbera, right?
It's Hanna-Barbera.
Yes,
Yeah.
What are we talking about, Batman?
So can we go into the origin story of this animated show? Because I have it memorized by heart. I say it to
perfect.
myself
Troy, go ahead.
every night. All right, so back in 1990 or 1991, Warner Brothers had a hit movie called Batman. And back then, kids, if you had a hit movie, whether it was Batman, Rambo, or RoboCop,
Or The Mask.
or Beetlejuice,
Or Top Cat.
Or Back to the Future.
or Back to the Future, you had a tie-in cartoon that kind of resembled the movie. So the Tim Burton Batman was dark. So they were like, hey, nerds who currently work on Tiny Toons, do any of you virgins have a pitch for a Batman cartoon? And two little guys named Bruce Timm and Eric Radomski were like, why don't we make a Batman cartoon that's like the Fleischer Superman shorts, but it's dark and noirish, and each episode is a 22-minute standalone movie, and it's all really good and really well written, and we're going to draw it on black paper, so everything's going to look really dark, and everything's just going to be dark and gritty and accurate to the comic book Batman. And they made it, and they brought on some other cool writers like Alan Burnett and Paul Dini, and who would have thought it turned out to be the greatest thing ever?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's pretty, Batman heavy, but it did include Mr. J, for the record.
But not the Joker we all know and love at first. At first, the Joker was going to be played by a certain actor named
Jim Carrey.
Tim Curry.
Yes.
Hey, Batman, you stink so bad, I can smell you from here.
Who we discussed last week was in consideration for the Tim Burton film, was he not?
Yes,
he was.
He is an actor who probably should have played the Joker at some point.
Well, he would have been perfect in the animated series, and even Andrea Romano, the voice director, the famed voice director, Andrea Romano, said that she had no problem. Everybody liked Tim Curry as the Joker, but one producer in particular did not like him, and we're just like, you need to get rid of him. And they saw Mark Hamill, bumming on the street after recording his Mr. Freeze episode, and they're like,
yeah, he was Ferris Boyle in Heart of Ice.
Yes, and they're just like, can you laugh? Do you want to be the Joker?
Oh boy, can he.
And sure enough, he becomes the definitive voice of the Joker.
Before we move off Tim Curry, I also want to point out another reason he had to drop out of playing the Joker was he had a scheduling conflict with another role of another Fox Kids cartoon. Do you know what it was?
I know what it is. If you know Troy personally, you could probably take a guess, and it probably has something to do with a certain avian boy.
Well, most of our listeners I've personally told to subscribe, so yes, you're right. Tim Curry was playing Captain Hook on Fox's Peter Pan at the Pirates.
Oh my god.
That was actually the name. The actual name was Foxes.
I only know about this show because the Nostalgia Critic loves it.
It's a great cartoon. Some might say it was Batman the Animated Series before Batman the Animated Series. But, we don't talk about it because Disney bought it and they don't like a version of Peter Pan that literally is legally called Fox's Peter Pan. So they buried it. And you don't get to see it. But it's great. There's an episode where Captain Hook dies and comes back as a ghost. There's an episode where his brother dies and comes back as a ghost. There's an episode where they meet Alice in Wonderland. And there's another episode where they do Romeo and Juliet. And Wendy is Juliet. And Captain Hook is Romeo. Whoa, what?
How inappropriate and ghost-filled. Thank you. What?
You could do whatever you wanted on kids' TV back then. Except kill people explicitly.
And do cocaine.
Much like Marvel movies.
So a year into making Batman the Animated Series, they are tasked to do a direct-to-video animated film titled Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
No, they had a couple other ideas for the story first. One was going to be a sequel story to the Two-Face two-parter, where Two-Face had a girlfriend who originally was going to stand by him when he was Two-Face. And so they wrote this script, which later got adapted into 2 issues of the comic book, where the Joker tells Two-Face that his girlfriend is dating Bruce Wayne. And it's basically Othello with the Joker as Iago and Two-Face as Othello, because he breaks out and tries to kill Bruce Wayne for dating his girlfriend when really he's just kind of helping her cope with him being a Two-Face. And Harley Quinn's getting up to stuff. But then they were like, nah. Then their second idea was to do a movie where the villains all capture Batman and they put him on trial for all the things he did to them, and Joker was going to be the judge. And then they said, he's just going to sit there for a whole movie. Let's just make that a 22-minute episode. And they did. And it's one of my favorite episodes of the series.
It's a beloved episode.
Yes. So Alan Burnett was like, why don't we do a story where Batman falls in love?
Boo.
And that's how we got Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
And it's also, I guess, was an excuse, I think I read this, to expand a little more on the origin of this version of Batman than they had done in the series so far.
Yeah, there's really no origin. Like, they talk about the murder, but there's no how I came to be Batman. There's a ton of random there's a Robin origin, there's a Batmobile origin, but
There is.
Batman himself does not get an origin story in the series. And this movie draws a lot from two comic books, Batman Year One, which is kind of self-explanatory, and Batman Year Two, where Batman meets an old girlfriend named Rachel when he's just starting out.
Oh.
But her father has come back as the Reaper to kill criminals who have wronged him.
Batman Year 2 is a stupid name. I'm sorry.
Oh, man, if you think that's dumb, just wait until Batman Year 3.
The image you get is Batman wearing diapers trying to put a square on top of like another square.
And then who can forget Batman 0 Year?
I read one issue of that.
Is that does he go to space or something?
No. That's just, they do Batman Year 1 again, but this time he fights the Riddler.
Fascinating.
Yes, and there's I read the one that was a Joker origin.
Yes, and also he knocks the Joker into a vat of acid.
And the Joker's already crazy as the Red Hood.
Yeah.
Well, before we jump into the movie, I just have to say, cartoons are bad, as we all know. Animation is not cinema. It's a stupid genre for children.
Well, the thing is about cartoons, they're an inferior form of art, and they're not real, so why do we care?
Yeah.
We care about Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, you know? That's real.
There's no way a movie like Batman Mask of the Phantasm could be more emotionally investing, more grounded, and more tugging on the heartstrings than A View to a Kill.
That was real life.
A View to a Kill was docu-realism.
Yeah, that happened to a buddy of mine.
They chose the worst medium you could pick in the history of the world. Like, the worst medium that's ever been invented, right, is animation. Right. My point here is, as far as bad animation can go, there are only two good animated properties, in my opinion. Trolls 2 World Tour and Batman the Animated Series, and the movie it spun off, because this show is quite good. I like it a lot.
What we're trying to say is the cartoon shouldn't work because cartoons don't work. And yet, this cartoon kind of works. And it definitely may have something to do with the fact that for pretty much anybody remotely close to our age, this is definitive. And it was played 24/7 on Cartoon Network for like 20 years.
Okay, that's part of it, but also it should be noted that like adults at the time also thought it was really good. Like, I know a lot of you Gen Alpha losers who listen to this podcast think that this is just nostalgia speaking, but no, Heart of Ice won an Emmy, I think. Siskel and Ebert said this Batman movie, Mask of the Phantasm, treated you more like adults than most of the Batman movie.
Which they didn't even review it when it came out in theaters because nobody saw this in theaters.
Because they threw it in theaters so last moment. They were like, oh, this looks pretty good, guys. Congrats. You're going into theaters. Have fun redoing the aspect ratio on all your shots, you stupid moron.
Have fun. Fuck you. And we're not going to promote it. And sure enough, it opens to, I don't know, like 50 screens or something like that. It makes a grand total of $0.
It's like a Jonah Hill in Superbad. $7? What the fuck?
If I wasn't born like a year after this came out, I totally would have been in there as a baby, hooting, hollering, clapping my little baby hands.
For that searing romantic tragedy.
It would have blown my baby mind. No, I mean, we might as well say it now because we've kind of alluded to it. This might actually be the most grounded in real world physics Batman movie in terms of like what goes on in it.
There's a robot that fights someone with a knife.
I've seen a robot fight someone with a knife.
Well, here's the thing is that we talked about on our last episode how the charm of Batman 89 is that it is abstracted and cartoony because it's just Batman stripped down to his bare essentials fighting the Joker stripped down to its bare essentials, and the animated movie is the one to actually have like a script on top of it being a nice cartoon. You know?
This is an actual cartoon and has a story.
Yes.
So it's
Groundbreaking.
somewhat similar to the film that is trying to be a cartoon and doesn't have a story.
Well, Mask of the Phantasm is kind of still unique in terms of superhero films, where I think it's the only superhero film ever made where you don't take like 15 minutes for the characters to explain sci-fi nonsense of some kind straight to the camera. It's just like people getting murdered. Like, it's so beautifully straightforward.
Well, the closest thing you get is having Bruce Wayne describe what the Phantasm smoke is to Alfred, and it's a joke.
Some kind of dense, long-chain macromolecular polymer. Adaptogenic, of course.
Of course.
You know, I'll admit it. When I was a kid, I never saw like past the 30 minutes of this movie because I was like, what the fuck? He's just biting a bunch of mobsters, you know? Like,
hey,
this isn't
if you
any
hung it
fun.
out, you would have gotten the Joker.
Imagine when I was a little bit older and my mind exploded when Mr. Jokes comes out.
Yes.
Holy shit. And this is why we're talking about this movie today, people.
Yeah, we're not talking about this because of Batman.
No, fuck that guy.
We're talking about, like, this is S-tier gooning is what this movie is for, for Mr. Joker.
This is S1 nut boy. You know what I mean?
That is A1 nut boy.
You an A1 nut boy.
No, S tier. S1 nut boy.
Oh, okay,
Well, here's the thing is that we have this movie. I lost my train of thought because we were talking about different things.
About
I
that
had
nut
a
boy.
point, and now I'm the A1 nut boy. So, going back to Siskel and Ebert's review, it's funny, they didn't even talk about this movie until Batman Forever came out.
And they were like, it was so bad that they had to watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm and apologize.
And Gene Siskel also says, I popped it in my Laserdisc player and I had a good time.
With beautiful surround sound. I was watching it earlier today.
Beautiful 5.1 Dolby surround sound.
Gene Siskel did say, I do not like this Joker's voice.
It's funny because in the review, he's like, the only flaw, I don't like this Joker. I don't like his voice. And then they do like a clip of Mark Hamill talking. And to anyone currently alive, he's like, this is great.
It's just like, this is the voice of the Joker.
Yeah, what is
He sounds incredible.
Like, you can never tell that it's Luke Skywalker doing the voice. It's crazy.
He's like, this is not the Joker. Why isn't he dancing to Prince and farting?
Why doesn't he have a mustache that he's painting over in like joy?
Why isn't he being beta to Penguin and Catwoman and being knocked into the ocean?
Yeah, this isn't my Joker.
We'll get into the Joker status when we get to him. But
yes, this is the first Batman movie to actually be about Batman. But who gives a shit, because this is a Joker podcast. This is Joker's trick, after all. We need to talk about Joker.
we're going to do our best to skip over the Batman stuff, but unfortunately, it is the vast majority of this 75-minute film.
And I do have a question for you guys that I was pondering since watching it again. We don't have to answer it now. I
will.
So, this movie was originally not supposed to have the Joker in it.
Yes, I was reading about this.
Fuck that!
Now, here's the thing. Is it a contrivance to have the Joker in this movie, or does the fact that he's here elevate it?
Jake, if you even need to ask that question, you don't deserve to be in this podcast.
Yeah,
well,
Jake,
we're revoking your joke.
Even as a Batman booster, I know that the Joker can only elevate. There is no movie that could come out within the last 10 years that you could throw the Joker in and you could ask, what is he doing here? I thought this was a Suicide Squad movie. No, you would never say
Jake,
that.
You are the weakest Joker. Kindly remove your makeup and your wig and get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
Actually, Jake, you know what? You saying that has turned me into the Joker.
No.
Now we have to do new logos.
Too much lore, too much.
Oh, God. Now I got to redraw Joker.
All right. Well, we're going to table that discussion, Jake, because it'll come into it when we see how the Joker operates in this film, because I do think it's interesting and somewhat unorthodox.
Yeah.
Yes.
But actually, I think it's probably our best use of Joker. But you know what's pretty peak in this movie?
What is that?
Some ominous lanting chanting over the credits.
Well, yeah, that's it. This is when I was like, this is a dumb baby cartoon because the music's scary and I feel scared.
It's not like even scary, like spooky and scary, like Monster Mash scary. It's like you fumbled the love of your life scary, which this movie knows is the scariest thing you can do. Am I right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, right. But it's even funnier because it begins with the Warner Brothers Family Entertainment logo with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
We're back to James Bond. We're going to spend 10 minutes talking about the first 5 seconds of the movie.
We're just talking about the logo here. We're just
Most of the discussion so far has been Looney Tunes, Top Cat, and cartoons are bad.
Hell yeah, it's our cartoon episode.
My point being, it is hilarious how this is a movie made for families and children with a Bugs Bunny logo, family entertainment. The very first thing you have is a CGI Gotham City with like the most foreboding, melancholic orchestral score possible. That is just like, wait a second.
This ain't for kids. This ain't your grandpa's Batman.
Merry Christmas, Jackoff.
When I saw fucking Bugs Bunny come out and then just, I'm like, this is the equivalent of like, before Saving Private Ryan, they played you the DreamWorks logo with Kung Fu Panda on it, you know, and the Minions.
It's somewhat jarring, but I gotta say, it's pretty badass.
Yes.
It acquits itself, but as we know, nothing can really compare to the series title sequence.
Well, yes.
So fun fact about that. The Danny Elfman music is what opens up the animated show. But the person who did most of the show's music was Shirley Walker, who conducted the orchestra for Batman the movie.
Not Batman the movie 1966, but Batman.
Oh yeah, I mean Batman the movie that came out in 1989.
No, that was the Beatles, though.
That was the Beatles, right?
Yes, correct.
It was either Taxman or Batman 66.
one of those.
Don't know.
One of those two. But there is a synthesizer working in the orchestra for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and his name is Hans Zimmer.
Oh my god.
So it's an unbroken continuity of like Batman composers.
That's the craziest thing when rewatching it, was watching the end credits and then Hans Zimmer's name comes up and you're like, what?
Yeah, he did The Lion King this year.
Yeah, well, it was the year before Lion King.
Oh, you're right.
But he'd also scored Rain Man at this point. Like, he's already, like, starting his movie career, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm the keyboardist in Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
He went from making Troy's least favorite movie to his favorite movie in the span of, like, a year.
He covered the entire spectrum.
He did it.
Musically.
I think they made fanboys. But also, fun fact about the Latin chanting, it's actually the names of the crew spelled backward.
Yeah, it's the producers and specifically the musicians that worked on the score, because they weren't, it's like they didn't get... Eric Randomonsky. Yeah, and we get this CGI cityscape of Gotham City that they were actually testing out because they were thinking about using CG backgrounds on the show. Yeah. And then they did it in the movie and they're like, it's not quite there yet.
But... Which is funny because the 90s Spider-Man cartoon did do that and it looks silly.
It does. It gives it a jank to it.
It doesn't look great here, but it's carried by the design and the music.
Yeah.
It's like the first Toy Story. They knew their limit.
Well, yeah, and it's basically just this title sequence, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Because immediately after the opening title sequence, we get a beautiful drawn Gotham skyline. A nice multi-plane effect.
I know that cartoons suck, but I'm gonna come clean. I really like how this cartoon looks. It's it's so, like, the design of Gotham City, this like Art Deco thing from the 30s is fucking the sickest shit ever, right? We agree, right?
Oh yeah, and it's even crazier because back before Batman the animated series, every time they did a superhero show, it's always like, okay, we got to make them look like the comic books, and we got to make them, have the muscles. We got to have a lot of line work, and then usually the animation looks like shit.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Timm had the brilliant idea of, I'm going to turn Batman into Space Ghost, and that is going to dictate the look of the show, is simplifying everything.
Stroke of genius.
Which might go a little haywire once we get to New Batman Adventures, but that's another thing.
The problem for another day. But yes, the animation looks pretty tight. I mean, definitely a triumph of like the design, and obviously they were working with some limitations.
Yeah, because there are some unintentionally funny moments of animation because of the limited budget, for sure.
Yeah, and also like it's kind of like not only was the budget limited, but like I didn't realize until doing some homework for these episodes that this was a time when American cartoons were outsourcing was already a thing, but they were, for these series and the animated series, they were leaning not just on South Korea, which has been long a stalwart of...
Oh my god, North Korea also?
No. Oh my god, I'm reading about the crunch they went through. They made this movie in 8 months.
Yes.
Bruce Timm threw out the first round of storyboards, and like they were just arguing with the overseas houses. So the 2 overseas houses that did this were Dong Yang and Spectrum.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't know if it might be Spectrum, but like, yeah, some of this and some episodes of the series were made in Japan. Which
Yes.
I don't know if that happens so much anymore, but there's definitely moments where you can feel, in the movie and in the series, you feel it slipping into anime. Especially in some of the action sequences, and then some of the times where they start going off model.
Well, yeah, when he fights the hoodlums, that is complete animation.
Oh, they got TMS was one of the studios, and I actually just saw a tweet like today or yesterday where someone's just like, I love how TMS did some of the episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and some of the characters straight up look like they come from Lupin the Third.
Yeah, no, that was the Forgotten episode. Was the one where everyone's like, they look like Lupin the Third.
Is that the one where Batman disguises himself as a homeless man and gets amnesia?
Yeah, and he forgets who he is, and he has nightmares at night about homeless people asking him for money and the Joker.
It's, oh my god, he's just like me.
So anyway, in the show, some of the animation kind of looks rushed at times, which Bruce Timm has frequently bemoaned, and was just like, that's why I simplified it for New Batman Adventures and made the Joker look like Mickey Mouse.
Bruce Timm hates the animation errors in Batman the Animated Series so much that every new show he does, he tries to take out more detail and more detail so that they can't screw it up. And now everyone treats Batman Cape Crusader like it's a Flash cartoon.
Yes. Now we're at the point where it looks like every character just looks like a Mark Rothko painting. He's gone like uber minimalist.
When it's gray and black, you're like, well, that's Batman.
When it's white and red, it's like, it's the Joker.
It is funny, like, listening to Bruce Timm do commentaries on the Batman the Animated Series episode where he's like, wow, I always remember these looking bad, but these look really good. They look like the Fleischer cartoons. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, now that all of these have been remastered in 4K or whatever, you can definitely see some dust and some,
shots out of focus.
Well, some shots out of focus, some shots intentionally out of focus because it's cinematic.
Yeah, sometimes it's they're actually employing what am I talking about?
Rack focus.
Yeah.
The thing that I just said.
Talking about
Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about Top Cat.
Top Cat! I know.
Can we go back to, so the Warner Brothers logo.
No. But I was going to say, I mean, well, the movie opens with an action scene, but like in the series as well, you see not just that, there was love and care put into all this, despite its low budget, but that just the sensibility of the show, the way it's paced, the way the voices are directed, everything is kind of geared more cinematic and more atmosphere-based than like pretty much any American cartoon at the time.
For a show, it was a huge budget, but when you're making a movie, it is, compared to Disney, it's like, well, this is like a drop in the hat.
They did give him more budget. Apparently, the timeline was direct-to-video movie. Warner Brothers just wants to see if they can compete with Disney in making feature cartoons. So they're like, we'll release this one theatrically. They gave them like $6 million more dollars.
I think the entire budget was $6 million.
Okay, so they may have expanded it to $6 million.
Less than 1/10 of Robert Downey Jr.'s salary.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like back when movies didn't cost the nominal GDP of an African country,
and they were only 76 minutes long.
Yeah, and told a more complete story than most movies released in theaters.
Well, this screenplay is tight, boy, tight like something tight.
We'll get into the movie, but Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is almost viewed now, it's like a complete rebuke. Like what superhero movies are today and how Hollywood makes movies today. Like Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is like a complete rebuke of all of it. Heck, I think it's like it has more story than like support the girl.
Okay, well, compared to Mumblecore Cinema, then yes.
This movie has way more story than Francis Ha.
It does.
All right. Let's start talking about this. So mob guys are doing stuff.
Chucky Saul. He wants to see the stubble on Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, he wants to see Benjamin Franklin's stub on his counterfeit bills.
It's identical down to Ben Franklin's stubble.
And he's played by the late, great Dick Miller.
He looks like Dick Miller.
He does look like Dick Miller. He's showing everybody his counterfeit bills. Batman comes in, beats the shit out of guys. We get automatically within the first 5 minutes, it's just like, okay, Batman's doing Batman things. Here we go.
He crushes a table on top of a guy and leaves him paralyzed for life.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. For kids.
Batman doesn't kill. He just will leave you paraplegic.
Yeah, he'll give you a really bad concussion.
Yeah.
They're not obligated to do anything about him if he doesn't kill you.
Nobody dies in the story. They just get really big boo-boos and then...
Except for Chucky Saul, who gets like chased by a ghost and then goes freaking flying out of parking deck.
He fucking does a Vin Diesel in Fat and Furious 7 and dies. This movie may be animation, but it's more realistic than Furious 7.
Oh, that's not that hard to...
Another masterpiece, to be clear.
Like, Robot Dreams is a more realistic animated film than Furious 7. Also, once you watch this movie, at least this was my case the entire week, I couldn't stop saying in that voice, Chucky Saw. Chucky Saw.
Oh, yeah.
Or Boss Bronski. Yeah.
Farewell, Mr. Bronski.
Mr. Bronski.
It was 2 a.m. and Melissa was sleeping and I leaned to her ear and just went, Chucky Saw.
You're turning into Stacy Keach.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the magic of Stacy Keach. No, the cast for this movie, we'll like probably shout them all out by name, but everyone is just doing like career best work here.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Although I have to be, as a Joker fan.
Oh my god.
The smoke clears, you're like, who's this guy? Where's Mr. J? This Phantasm? I don't know.
Oh my god, it's Darth Vader!
Yeah, what's he doing here? Someone made a mistake.
It's a ghost that kind of looks like Batman because they both have pointy capes, but they don't have the ears, and it's obviously not Batman.
I was here because I thought there was be a Joker, and it's just accurate with the.
I'll tell this story now. So, as I said, Batman Year 2 was an influence on this movie, and there's a character in it called the Reaper who wears skull and a cloak, and he has a scythe, and he's the father of Bruce Wayne's redheaded girlfriend come back to kill mobsters. And Bruce Timm has said, oh, that was an accident. I didn't know about this until we made the movie. But Mike Bard, the writer of Batman Year 2, he claims he would like visit the Warner Brothers animation office and he would see someone at a typewriter with a copy of Batman Year 2 next to the typewriter. And he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's nothing. I was just reading it. I'm just typing. And then he saw this movie and he went to Paul Levitz, the publisher of DC at the time. And he's like, Paul, what the hell happened? What did you do? And Paul's like, keep it in the family, man. We're just going to give you a share of this movie's earnings.
Where he lost money.
So they took his house.
No. Now Mike Barr gets a little bit of the earnings to Mask of the Phantasm. Mike Barr is so funny because he'll just be like, yeah, I'll tell you how much money DC gives me on everything they do.
That was basically like, right, like this movie comes out, Bruce Timm's like, I will never be able to financially recover, and now we're getting like Batman shows from Newgrounds.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I don't think Bruce Timm personally lost money. Like every time like Mask of the Phantasm bombs and he's like, that's it, because you didn't like Bruce Wayne with Andrea Beaumont. Now I'm going to make him have sex with Batgirl forever.
Yeah. And you're not going to stop me.
You can't stop me.
That is his mission in life, is to make Batman fuck Batgirl.
He reminds me of a certain someone that says, somebody stop me.
Ace Ventura? No, wrong Jim Carrey movie. That was Dr. Robotnik.
All right.
Before we move off this topic, apparently someone online like a couple months ago was complaining that, oh man, I like Batman the Caped Crusader except for all the Bruce Barbara flirting on like the anime superhero forums. And Bruce Timm logged on and he's like, they are not flirting. I'm not doing it again. An executive pitched them dating, and I have a chart that says why I cannot personally be responsible.
The funny thing is that he's gone on record, like, for the animated series, like, yeah, there are people who get mad at me going, like, Batman and Batgirl getting together, that's weird, especially since in the show, Batgirl dates Dick Grayson. And he's like, yeah, it's supposed to be weird. Come fight me, bro. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, why are you dying on this horse? And now he's backtracking because of Killing Joke?
He's like, I'm tired. Everyone hates me. I don't blame them.
People hate me because of this shit.
I need to stop. I'm stopping. I'm making a change.
Stop it. Get some help.
And it's also funny because we'll get to it, but Batman's original girlfriend in this movie is basically Barbara Gordon. Chucky Saul has flown off into a car garage and died.
Yes.
He's dead. And then we meet this councilman.
Arthur Reeves, played by
Hart Bachner.
Hans. Bobby.
Yes, this is Ellis from fucking Die Hard, perfectly cast as the weasel councilman Arthur Reeves. Gotta love Hart Bachner. He's really good at playing sleazy douchebags.
This is his finest moment.
Yes.
This seems like it should have been Harvey Dent, but like a sleazy version, no?
Well, yeah, but Harvey Dent in the animated series is like somewhat cool, which works better for Harvey. I don't know. I understand the argument for sleazy Harvey Dent. I personally don't think it works.
I think it's less interesting if he's already kind of a bad guy. I like it more how in the animated series how it's handled, where he's trying really hard to be a good guy and not show his bad side.
Look at here. It's someone who thinks that politicians can be good. What an idiot.
Tragic society pilled.
You're right. I atone.
So but he is kind of weirdly, I mean, obviously it's a tropey show. It's a tropey genre even, but you know, this is a familiar type and a kind of a look.
Wait, but fun fact, Hart Bachner got the job because his father, Lloyd Bachner, if I'm getting the names correct,
yes,
plays Mayor Hamilton Hill on Batman the Animated Series.
Oh.
So that's why he's playing the lower corrupt politician, because his dad plays the higher up. Before we cut to the Batcave, I also want to point out that some of the reporters don't have eyeballs. They just have little squiggles.
They look like Hanna-Barbera characters, and it's adorable.
Or like Fleischer characters.
You can, if you squint your eyes, you can see the Yucatecan cat from Top Cat in there with a notepad.
No, honestly, that's what happened to me when I watched it 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, Bam Bam is in there as a reporter.
Yes, Mask of the Bam Bam.
Mask of the Bam Bam.
The Phantasm takes his mask off and it's Muttley.
Muttley, you dastardly hound.
You You've killed 3 mob bosses.
But Muttley, what will vengeance solve?
Have they done a Flintstones Batman where like Barney is Alfred or Robin or whatever?
No, they've done an Elmer Fudd Batman where Batman meets Elmer Fudd.
Paul, I think you're jet lagged. You're asking really weird questions.
I'm all out of swords.
So we cut from the front steps of City Hall where Arthur Reeves is calling for a masked vigilante.
It's vigilantism at its deadliest.
To be arrested. And then we cut to Alfred and he's like, what are they talking about, sir? You're the perfect model of sanity.
Why, you're the very model of sanity. By the way, I've pressed your tights and put away your exploding gas balls.
Great, funny joke, but also kind of a good character thing for Alfred because there's a through line questioning Bruce's choices of dressing up as a Batman.
But here's the thing. Batman like laughs and takes it like a joke, like he enjoys Alfred's company, which really lies in what I think the secret sauce of Batman the Animated Series is that Batman and Alfred are kind of like well-adjusted people.
Yes.
In this show, and they talk to each other normally.
This is a good time to mention that Kevin Conroy is... He's Batman. He's just Batman.
He's just Batman. No one has ever seriously debated this.
I mean, we love Michael Keaton saying, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And we also love Christian Bale's gargly voice.
Where were the other drugs going?
But Kevin Conroy, it just embodies everything. Like, he does Bruce Wayne.
Excuse me.
Flawlessly. Different voice where he's higher pitched. Yeah. And he does the Batman voice. He does the heroic voice.
I am Batman.
And it's just like, no one else can do it.
And he sounds like a normal guy while doing it, which most other people can't seem to manage. And I feel, I don't know, when I'm following Batman, I kind of want to root for I'm sorry, Joker fans. I kind of want to root for Batman, and it's better.
Kill this guy.
Right, this guy. No.
No. We like Kevin Conroy's performance because Batman sounds like a wuss. He's beta.
Yeah.
He sounds like he has feeling.
It is a little weird when he's playing a college student here and he's like, Andrea?
I'm sorry, Andy.
Hello.
I didn't say anything.
He's like...
And he laughs.
Yeah, he sounds like Mark Wahlberg.
It's not like the Killing Joke where it's like, whoa, Batman laughed. I'm like, what? Batman's like Jesus. He laughed. He cried.
Right, no. This is a Joker podcast. Let's be clear.
The Joker is Jesus, dumbass.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry for my heresy.
Let's get into why this Batman is weak. He can't keep a lady down. All right.
Yeah.
Well, he has all these girls at this party he's at. If we're already there, I think we're already there.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that happens in between is we get introduced to our main villain.
Oh, yeah. She's flying back in. She's
whoa,
flying back in.
First time I'm hearing about what villain. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Andrea Beaumont. And it's so cool. You see, like, just her lips on the phone, and she's like, putting a Time magazine away. It's like storytelling for grown-ups as they use visuals to indicate she's over Bruce Wayne.
But Troy, I'm going to have to correct you on that.
What?
It was a Fortune magazine, not a Time magazine.
Fake fan.
Fake fan.
Fuck you!
Watching this every year for Valentine's Day, my ass. You don't even know the magazine, motherfucker.
Sorry that I'm too busy brooding over whatever woman has broken my heart that week in my Paul Schrader bedroom.
That week.
But it's okay because there's a bunch of very basic women that will fawn over you and say how you can never keep a woman down.
Including the I word.
The I word?
Engagement.
Some fun facts here. The woman who throws a drink in his face is his unnamed girlfriend from the episode of the animated series Joker's Wild.
Oh!
Who Batman abandoned at an opening of a Joker casino because Joker was messing with the Joker casino. And it was a whole thing.
I actually was very confused as a child because I thought that was Andrea when I was a little kid.
No, she actually does look. I had face blindness too. I also thought that was Andrea when I was watching this as a small child.
Face blindness for low rendered cartoons.
Yes.
Hey, I was a child. This was high rendered cartoon.
Yeah, this is back in the days of VHS and standard def DVD.
Only the highest rendered cartoon women for Bruce Timm. Thank you very much, Paul.
To be fair, she looks exactly the same as Andrea.
You know what's funny? In preparation for this, I also watched a clickbait video about 20 things you didn't notice about Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And most of the things are kind of just whatever. There's occasionally some interesting things, like he gets into the sequel comic to this movie, which we'll talk about at some point, Troy.
Yes.
So, but he was trying to make the argument that, well, clearly here, Bruce Wayne has a redheaded fetish, and it's all because his mom is a redhead. And what makes it even funnier is that this video uses clips from the movie, and in the portrait, Martha Wayne's hair is clearly blonde.
Correct. It's the exact same hairdo as Batman Begins, actually.
Yes. And also we see him with all the women of the world with different hair colors, and there's one other redhead. And then he's just like, well, obviously there's a Freudian thing going on here. Batman wants to fuck his mom. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I do love when the redhead throws the drink in his face and then Arthur Reeves comes up to him and he's like, who is that girl you fumbled? She was the number. And he's just gotten off the phone with her too.
Yeah.
He's like, what's her name?
It's Hart Bachner going full Hart Bachner.
What was her name? Andrea?
And then Kevin Conroy's like, thanks for the handkerchief, Arthur. You know where you can stick it.
You know where you can stick it.
And I'm like, in a kid's movie.
and then we enter a flashback zone.
Yeah, he goes and looks at the painting of the mom he wants to have sex with.
Yes.
yeah, and he pulls his pants down and goes to town.
And he starts gooning as he thinks about, I'll say it, the saddest relationship in movie history.
Honestly, yeah.
It's this or up.
Okay, well.
It's definitely the most operatic.
But like, they're so normal. They're just at each other's graves trying to mourn their parents and Dana Delaney.
They're so normal. They talk to graves all the time.
Yes, Paul. People talk to all right, whatever.
All right, but you're saying they're so normal.
Paul's going to cemeteries, driving by going, you're talking to your mom?
Loser.
She's fucking dead.
You're so weird. Go run for president.
What I want to get at is that they bond over this because they are unique in that they're the only ones there and that they're doing this, and then they're like, hello, you're nice, and the relationship blossoms. But she doesn't know his secret, that he's a vigilante.
So we're formally introduced to Andrea Beaumont, played by Dana Delaney. She has a completely perfect voice suitable for this character of making her seem like Lauren Bacall, and like that she has that very smoky femme fatale voice.
Nice footwork. Can you dance too?
While also being girl next door.
Yes. Paul is laughing, but I agree with Troy.
No, like...
She checks off all the kinks.
Well, that's the thing. Let's not dismiss Andrea Beaumont as like a kink character.
No.
She is such a well-rounded character, I think. Like, she has little quirks. She has like agency. She has a fully rounded like life with a family, and like she talks to Bruce Wayne as an equal. And God, Andrea Beaumont.
She's a cartoon, man. Get a grip on yourself.
It's a drawing. You couldn't even tell the difference between that one and the one in the scene right before.
Guys, here's the thing. There can be multiple beautiful people in the world, but some of those beautiful people have a beautiful personality. And Andrea Beaumont has a beautiful personality until she doesn't. But we'll get to that.
Oh my God. You're going full Doug Walker here. It's just her design is very nice. I love her personality.
Oh, come on. What? The little blue eyes, the red hair, the little...
Okay, so this is basically the 2006 Vesper Lind to Batman.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
It's something that is very difficult to do, as evidenced in Spectre and No Time to Die, to basically make... Okay, this isn't just like a fleeting romantic interest like a Vicky Vale. And it's something that they do in Batman Returns, less successfully than this, but successful enough. But like having someone that Bruce Wayne legitimately falls in love with. They have a relationship, and there is an actual like end all be all to it. It's like, this is the one thing that I will give up. Basically what my whole life has been about for this person. And it actually works, and you buy it.
What I love about this relationship, as opposed to any other movie relationship almost, is how normal it is. Like, they connect. They catch up after 3 days. They go on dates.
Bruce Wayne gets nervous.
Yeah, like, he's just a guy.
So my question here is, and it's a question that I've asked in the past, is I like Batman Begins, and I like to see the behind the scenes for that movie. And Christopher Nolan with Batman Begins is always like, I wanted to do something that's never been done in a Batman movie before, which is the origin story told non-chronologically that goes into his psychology and explores his doomed romance. And I'm like, you asshole.
Bruce Timm is just like sitting there eating his popcorn going, I don't like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep drawing Hawk Girl.
I'm like, you dumbass. You fraud. Give back your Oscars.
This movie, I think the creators basically have said, so for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, we just took some inspiration from a little movie called Citizen Kane.
Whoa.
And basically structured the flashbacks kind of like that. And watching it, I'm like, well, duh, if you're going to make a great movie, why not just rip off the greatest movie?
Is Citizen Kane also a cartoon?
No, and there's less punching. Is there punching?
There's room trashing. He fucks up a drawer.
Well, I guess if we're comparing to Citizen Kane, the framing is, in that film, is the reporter investigating. In the case of Mask of the Phantasm, it's the killings by the Phantasm.
Well, yes, that is the framing, though. It's kind of interesting you say this. So Citizen Kane is the reporter asking people questions and kind of going outside, external. But in Mask of the Phantasm, it's always Bruce Wayne remembering. So it's like completely internalized psychology.
Yes.
I guess you're right. It's actually not that similar. But the Phantasm is killing people, and this is a problem for Bruce because Batman is getting blamed.
Yes, Arthur Reeves, who I'm sure has no ulterior motives whatsoever because he looks like such a nice guy, is blaming Batman, who, as we've learned in the flashback, he used to just be a little guy in a little jacket and a little ski mask throwing little spike balls and hopping around.
Yes.
No one was scared of him. Not even Harvey Bullock in his turn of the century dress.
His cop outfit from the 30s.
That he's wearing in what must be 1983.
But yeah, they're like, Batman's murdering people, and Gordon's like, no.
Yeah, Gordon's like, that doesn't sound like Batman.
Yeah, Batman doesn't kill.
Like, he's like, Batman is the sanest person ever, and he would never do anything bad.
He's the most normal guy I know.
But I do want to bring up that Commissioner Gordon kind of pulls a Joker move where he's just like there in the movie to be like, I'm sorry, Batman doesn't kill people. And they're like, we think he did. And he's like, fine, I'm out of here.
He didn't do it. You want him, you get him. I'll have no part of it.
And then he just disappears from the movie.
He's like, you know what? I trust Batman enough.
This is Sigma Gordon.
Like, later on, the police form an entire assault on Batman, and there is not a peep from Commissioner Gordon about this.
He's just gone.
He's just gone.
He's gone home for Christmas.
I'll protect my friend against all costs, and they're like, we're gonna kill him. He's like, good luck with that.
Bob Hastings, by the way, I think he's quietly the definitive Gordon, because he doesn't get a lot to do in this movie, so I'll say it now. He also played Superboy in the 60s. On the original Superboy cartoon. Yes, and General Ross on the 90s Hulk cartoon.
Oh, he is a great Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
He's not quite Pat Hingle energy of doing nothing.
Oh, yeah, no, he's actually like a Gordon with vitality. He's like a 2012 Joe Biden instead of a 2024 Joe Biden.
Yes. So anyway, Batman's first night.
Yes, Batman's first night. He messes up. No one's afraid of him. And again, he's just a guy trying his best. He's not like a stunted loser.
He's not Batman yet. He's just man.
After he beats up all those goons, he goes like, yes, to himself.
Yeah.
Like he's a complete loser. He's a complete nerd.
Again, this movie asks the question, what if Batman's just like a normal guy?
Well, except for the fact that the very next scene, they start porking like raw right in front of the butler.
I love that scene where he's doing jujitsu.
Yes. Gesundheit.
And then she flips in.
I'm sorry, is that normal?
But it's hot, Jan. Oh my God, this is the Spectre review all over again. I can't believe you virgins
Well, I was gonna say this is Goldfinger all over again, except
it is no.
Well,
except there's a butler in front of the.
Wait, excuse you. They have the close-ups of the eyes, which is like one of the hottest moments in cinema history, where it's just that tight close-up on their eyes, and they're all glowing, and you don't even remember the animation error from the shot before, where she suddenly has a long sleeve
and then it cuts to a wide shot, and Alfred's just standing there begging for the sweet release of death.
And he just goes, "Oh," and he wonders how.
He's like Marge Simpson with the lemonade. He's like,
well, he's holding lemonade.
Yes,
but no. And then we're brought back to the real world with Arlene Sorkin going, "Brucey," because.
Well, Alfred comes in and tells him that one of the ladies is dancing on the piano.
Bambi's dancing on the piano.
And then we get to the Busby Berkeley scene, right?
What?
What's the name of the gangster?
Busby Berkeley?
Buzz Bronski.
Buzz Bronski, yeah. Buzz Bronski.
Mr. Bronski.
Farewell, Mr. Bronski.
Mr. Bronski.
Chucky Saul, you always were a loser. Chucky throws the reef in, just contempt.
Which this scene is very scary because he ends up in a grave and it makes me scared.
See, this is what people don't get. We've debated Cape Crusader and other current cartoons, and it's like, well, I'm not as hard on Cape Crusader as some other people who co-host this podcast. I will admit the loss of the atmosphere is real. Like, you can see them trying to do shadows on that show and everything just feels so brightly lit. But like in this movie and in the TV show, so it's not just a movie budget thing. When Bruce and Andrea are sparring, it's sunny, it's warm, everything is so vibrant. But when they're in the graveyard, everything is dark. There's shadows playing on everyone's faces. The moon is a pale white. Like, it's a completely different color palette. It looks so different and
it's
so evocative.
Very noir, very just there is no gray. They're not putting like a dark filter to digitally create shadows. It is drawn on ink, pure black.
And also one detail that I love about this animation that I think is they also do in the animation is when like there's like light sources actually coming from like, I don't know if it's like behind the frame, but like his eyes seem to light up and stuff.
Or like some glow effects.
Yeah, like the glow effect. Like that shit is cool as fuck. Yeah. And then like the shot where he's like perving on Andrea with the binoculars.
Oh yeah, with just the hands.
Yeah, that always gets me.
But yeah, don't they do like a Hitchcocky reflection? Am I
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And the rain is washing away his tears as he's watching Andrea get with Hart Bachner.
Yeah, just like Die Hard.
Hey, John Boy.
I was reading a forum post on this like 20 years ago, and they were like, really, the two movies this most resembles are Citizen Kane and Notorious by Alfred Hitchcock, because there's a lot of focus on detail, like little details, and you know, the woman and the man, they're getting over the parental issues, struggling.
Yeah, there's some of that for sure. Anyway, let's move beyond all this bullshit.
So Buzz Bronski is getting the shit chased out of him. He gets knocked into the grave and he's like crawling to get out, and then Phantasm pushes a statue on him and he's like, ah!
And he
then
gets crushed.
Two bad guys are like, oh my God, it's the Bat. The two goons are gooning, it's the Bat.
Apparently, when they were making this scene, originally they wanted to have more bone crushy sound effects under it, but then they're just like, no, you can't do that. This is still a children's film. We could just make it sound like punk. And it's still very gruesome.
It would have been cool, just a few bone crushes and then a splatter of blood, and maybe the Phantasm does some sex things with the corpse. That could, you know.
What is this, Batman Caped Crusader? Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, does that happen in Batman Caped Crusader?
No, but the Bruce Timm thing of constantly being a little bit more edgy.
Bruce Timm gets a lot of crap, but I'll say it. I'm brave enough to say it. Yeah, sometimes he's edgy, but in a world where like Deadpool and Wolverine or the Clone High revival exists and they don't get any crap, I think Bruce Timm gets too much crap. for being edgy.
Well, Clone High doesn't get crap because nobody watched it.
I watched it, and yeah, for every episode is like a giant blood explosion. I'm guessing.
And excuse me, Deadpool is R-rated. It's a movie for adults. You need to have an adult brain.
Mask of the Phantasm, which is for babies.
Bruce Timm is a filmmaker for children. Sean Levy is a filmmaker for adults.
I mean, did you see Cheaper by the Dozen?
Wait, did he do Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yes, he did.
And Night at the Museum, all three of them.
Well, I like the 3 Night at the Museum movies, especially in the second one, where Amy Adams plays Amelia Earhart and she has that short red hair and those blue eyes.
You and the redheads, animated or live action.
What are you talking about? There's no
on.
redhead fetish that comes in.
No. This is all completely objective.
Trey, you've been gooning for too long. Go jerk off right now and then come back.
This is completely normal behavior. I talk to and goon at the grave of Amelia Earhart every day.
Wait, Paul has the grave of Amelia Earhart to goon on for himself. No one else knows where she's married, but Paul goes and goons at the actual...
Jake, where did you find these two bozos? They're like the creepiest people ever.
We're the only ones who will hang with him after J.D. Vance stole his look.
After...
All right, the lore is getting deep, but Bruce and Andrea in the past, they go to the World's Fair.
Well, wait. Has Batman already gone to the graveyard and been like, oh, all right, Alfred, seems kind of weird. I'm going to stare at my parents' grave for a second. And then Andrea's like, the weeds, mother. The weeds are covering your grave.
This is when he blows his cover because he's just standing there like a dumbass.
And you get a little bit of the hint of Andrea's true nature because, like, the world is going to shit, basically. She's having an ominous conversation with her dead mother.
We used to make things in this country, mother.
We used to be a proper country, a good country.
Yes, because Andrea flew in. We thought the earlier scene showed her flying in. But now she hears Bruce Wayne staring at her from his parents' grave, and she runs over. He's like, Batman? Why is Batman talking to Bruce Wayne?
Oh my God. Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Bruce Wayne, why are you staring over Batman's parents' grave?
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What?
Wait, what's that from?
That's Batman Returns.
All right, yeah.
What's your favorite movie, Jen?
That's right, because he is Batman. I was like, yeah, that's from something.
Well, yeah, whatever that's from, it's a good movie.
But it's not the movie that we're quoting. We're talking about the better movie that does the same thing.
The movie that actually has human psychology in it.
I was going to say, this movie does something well that we don't do well, which is tightness and being concise.
Something that, like, you mean we, literally us, don't do well.
In this podcast.
Yes.
A garbage at it.
I love this thing where it's just like, she's just like, oh, Bruce is Batman. And we can go on. There's no like, what you never told me or any of that. It's just like...
It's so funny because for years now I've been maintaining Hollywood does not know how to make a satisfying 90-minute movie. And then you watch a 76-minute movie. That's perfect.
It's so tight.
Yes.
And it also works for the character because
Yeah.
it gives the impression that like... Even though they spend what seems like a brief time together, she still knows him the best out of anyone. And it makes sense to her. She's like, yeah, of course he'd be Batman. Like, I saw him beat up some goons. Like,
exactly. Just like, oh, he keeps talking about like this vow and he's coming over his parents' grave. Obviously, he's Batman.
So that's a little shorthand that's very effective character-wise and screen pacing-wise.
Yes. Anyway, so we get to the flashback where they're in the future. They're the World's Fair.
Welcome to the future.
Flashback to the future?
Yes.
Oh, there's something there. There's something thematically there. Let me think about that. That's poetic.
The future is where we all will be. The glorious future where we'll all be happy.
Yeah, there's going to be robots. There's going to be the Batmobile.
Images of domestic bliss.
Yes.
And also the Batmobile.
Before we thought the future would be cool, but then it turned out to be cooler because now it's Joker pilled because the Joker lives there now.
That was spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
It's interesting. On the face of it, this Batman movie seems like it's not saying a lot about society. But instead, in some ways, it's actually the smartest movie about society because it captures how when we're younger, we think the future is going to be great. But once we hit like 30, we realize the future is run down and everyone sucks.
But it has the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker lives in your future.
The Joker lives in the future, correct.
The Joker lives in the remnants of your childhood ideal of the future.
Yeah.
Which is either the greatest thing ever or the most tragic thing ever.
And the only way that you can recapture that sense of childhood in your adult years is by making an entire podcast dedicated to a fictitious clown character that you liked as a kid.
You thought the future was going to be great. You thought you were going to have a cool car. You were going to have a cool wife. Psych. The future is just you dressing up in the same clothes that you fit in, and the Joker lives there, and you just talk about the Joker.
Endlessly. Obsess over the Joker.
And you whine over the redheads you've lost.
The animated redheads and the
animated. There's no real life parallels here.
And Amelia Earhart. So they're at the World's Fair. They basically treat it like a tunnel of love. They're like teenagers.
Yeah, and they're in love and they're cuddling. There's that bit of animation where they're like nestling each other.
Yes,
where they're like necking into each other. And then finally they go and they get off, and then she's like, Bruce, are you thinking about me? And he's like, the Batmobile, my true love.
He's like, this car is really nice. Does it come in black?
I like how he's not even connecting it to crime fighting. It's just car.
It would be cool if I developed some deranged hobby that required that car.
Yes.
You can take the boy out of the rich, but not, you know what I mean?
Wait, what?
He's a rich boy.
Can I mention something really quickly? Because I don't know if I'll ever talk about this movie ever again. When he's distracted by the Batmobile and Andrea goes, Bruce, I'm talking to you. She like looks at him and her eyelid like wrinkles up under her eye. It looks kind of weird. She has like turtle eyes for like a hot second.
Yeah. That's when I knew that Andrea was the Joker.
Yes,
I got it. And no, Jan walks up to the screen with a red Sharpie and like draws a smile on her and is like, oh my god,
oh my gosh, she's the joke. Draws a smiley face.
But she's calling her dad. She's calling their dad because she wants Bruce to meet him, and Bruce is like, that's great. And then he turns to Alfred. What am I doing, Alfred?
You sure about this?
Sure, I'm sure. What the heck am I doing, Alfred?
Yeah, as we've established, Batman is a normal human being.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy, and he's freaking out. He's like, this isn't part of the plan. This is crazy. And Alfred lovingly goes like, no, sir, quite the opposite.
Get laid, dumbass.
Yeah, basically, get laid, dumbass. Then they end up driving to Mr. Beaumont, played by Stacy Keach's office.
He meets Walt Disney. And
yes, it's still Stacy Keach. He's like, I mean, Mr. Beaumont has a mustache. Stacy Keach has a mustache.
A man with a mustache.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, your voice kind of has a phantasm-y voice.
And he's always like, nothing's more important than family. Nothing. I would stop at nothing for my family.
Nothing's more important than family.
Even take money from the mob. Cut to the mobsters break in.
The mobsters are at the door. Oh, and we also find out Arthur Reeves worked for Carl Beaumont, and that's why him and Andrea know each other.
He's an accounting assistant?
Yes, he's an accounting assistant, which is why in the current scene, he's always like, so how's the old man, Andrea? Because, you know, they're old friends. But then Bruce and Andrea walk outside, and then first Bruce Wayne has to be attacked by muggers. There's this one guy robbing them who's laughing like the Joker, and he carries a bat. And that really confused me, because I'm like, is that guy supposed to be the Joker, or is he supposed to be Batman? Like,
the symbolism is
I'm confused.
It's not adding up.
But yeah, Bruce Wayne tries to take him, but because he's wearing like a sweater vest, he can't pull off the Akira motorcycle stunt. He does a cool flip. But then he gets hit in the stomach with a bat. Yes. And he's knocked out. And Andrea is like, Bruce!
Well, and she's also very cool with him going like, there's a group of muggers trying to steal a cash box from a guy. I need to intervene. And she's like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
But then she like freaks out when he gets the crap beat out of him. Which, that's another thing. This Batman, I know in the animated series, he did travel the world and stuff. In the movie, if you watch a movie by itself, it really does give the sense that he is just some guy who has decided to do this. like, he doesn't seem incredibly well trained. Like, he's good.
Well, he does jujitsu, though.
Yeah, but he got flipped by Andrea Beaumont.
Well, also the funniest bit of animation here for me is when he punches the guy in slow-mo and he falls off the bike.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
That is, for some reason, like, super funny to me.
I dig it. It's cool. When I think when American animators get influenced by anime, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's kind of like North Koreans trying to interpret New York during Christmas.
It is.
Well, we get to the scene where Bruce is conflicted and he's arguing with Alfred about all this is wrong. I feel guilty for falling in love with Andrea, and Alfred is trying to comfort him, going like, no.
Get laid, dumbass.
Get laid, dumbass. Dressing up as a bat is a virgin move. You need to go full alpha here and,
You need to embrace the grind set, Bruce.
Yeah.
And then he goes to his dead parents, right?
So this is the best scene. I'm sorry, Joker. I'm sorry, Mr. J.
Yeah.
This is the best scene in the movie.
This is not only the best scene in the movie, but this is probably in the top tier best scenes in any Batman movie.
Any movie, for me.
Sure.
I mean, it was the clip that was circulated after Kevin Conroy died.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the very first time where you get to know Bruce Wayne. So then you get like the scene where he feels guilty about trying to be happy and not become a man dressed as a bat, where there's an opportunity for him to abandon this and go like, I could just move on and be happy and stuff, but I feel guilty because then your name is you're not going to be avenged. I'm not gonna be Batman and bring justice to Gotham City. And he fucking sells the line, or it's a two-hander line between Bruce Wayne and Andrea, where he goes like, I never counted on being happy.
And then Andrea, who lives at this cemetery.
Yes, basically. She shows up behind him and says,
she's eating roadkill.
You're wrong. Maybe they sent me.
I didn't count on being happy. Please, tell me that it's okay.
Maybe they already have. Maybe they sent me.
And then they embrace in the rain. Again, visual storytelling. Visual storytelling. The acting's good. The human emotion's good. Everything.
And also be concise with your lines, because I didn't count on being happy is both heartbreaking, but it also encapsulates everything perfectly. And it also weirdly creates this like story of a man, bat, crime fighter, Dracula guy feel really like personal and like reachable to even like an adult audience, because we've all felt like that in our lives at a certain point. Like I remember as a Mexican, I swore I would never eat Taco Bell in my life, and then I ate it and I really liked it, and those are like the exact same words I said. I didn't count on being happy.
And then the Taco Bell dog came up and said, maybe they sent me.
And then I shat my pants.
Like, it's such economy of storytelling, because we've made like 31 episodes of a podcast, when really we could have just said, I never planned on being happy, and we didn't need to make all these episodes.
No, we didn't.
That's all we're trying to say.
That's all we're trying to say, is we never planned on being happy. I do want to point out that in the earlier scene where he's yelling at Alfred, he draws a sketch of a Batman outfit with no ears, being the first time that man ever appeared.
I was that's the lamest drawing ever. Just man.
Man.
He looks like El Santo, like the Mexican wrestler.
No, he looks like Space Ghost.
Yeah.
There's a bat flying by the window, and he doesn't care because he's trying to get laid. Anyway, the rain goes back to Batman's tears watching Andrea date the weenie from Die Hard.
Yeah, the cuts here are really, they're Citizen Kane tier, baby.
Yeah, they are. If Orson made a Batman movie, it would be called The Magnificent Ambersons. No, I'm kidding. It would be called
Suicide Squad.
And it's nice because this flashback is bookended by Batman intensely, angrily looking through binoculars.
Yes.
And then by the end of it, he is curled up with sad triangle Batman eyes.
Yes.
Cuddling his cape as he's keeping himself warm from the rain. And it's just like, aw.
And then doesn't Andrea look like she looks and he's immediately gone?
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you, brother. Who among us?
Don't sympathize with the enemy.
Hey, look at my cartoon. I never planned on being happy. I'm a Batman and a Joker podcast.
Yes.
And then the next scene is heartbreaking in the funniest way possible when it's like, wait, no, I was getting ahead of myself. The next scene is also really funny. It's Abe Vigoda.
Yeah, are you thinking of Sal choking?
Yeah, it's like, I was like, it's heartbreaking. This is just, he's coughing, and then he makes a funny Joe Biden face.
Well, it's funny because I guess he was fine with Chucky Saul, but Buzz Bronski getting killed, he's like, whoa! So he gets his driver to like hunt down a city councilman on like the street.
Which we don't know why yet. He's just going like, the Batman is picking us all up. What leads do you have or whatever? And Councilman Arthur Reeves is like, I don't want to have anything to do with you, you mobster. I'm a councilman. I had nothing to do with you guys. Pin that for later. And in his desperation, Sal turns to a man who he doesn't fully understand.
His former intern.
Who could it be?
Yeah, his former intern that lives in the wreckage of the future exhibit.
No, excuse you. It's called the Go Ham Horror Fair.
And he goes ham. Let's just say that.
He goes ham.
Well, he goes baloney later, but...
Oh, he goes full baloney. So this is when the movie truly begins. 37 minutes. And then he walks out of the shadows.
No, well, the robots start playing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they all get gunned down, and Sal just ducks, going like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? From the shadows, a smoking Tommy gun appears, and it is being carried by none other than our favorite clown prince of crime, Mr. J.
Gasp, can it be?
Then the Joker throws the Tommy gun away. Do we think Tim Burton ripped this off for the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay, good.
Also, Troy, the Joker's not John Cena. Like, you introduced him like...
He's like, hell yeah, brother.
He does get a John Cena-esque entrance.
No, the music like changes. It's like... Like, how would you describe the music for the Joker? Because it's such a great music entrance.
What, the organ?
Yeah, the organ, like going...
Well, yes, because the Joker can touch my organ anytime he wants. But answering your question from earlier, Jake, is the Joker necessary in this movie?
Right.
Necessary, maybe not, but okay, come on. If this was just like Batman fighting a bunch of random mobster goons, it'd be like, yeah, okay, like it's still a great movie, but it wouldn't feel fully like Batman without a proper Batman villain. And the fact that it's like the Batman villain, you know, and that's the show off.
So here's my fun fact, is what Jan is saying is basically why the Warner Brothers executives were like, you gotta put in the Joker. Because apparently Bruce Timm didn't want comparisons to the 1989 film, but he's like, fine, we'll put in the Joker. He told Paul Dini, who was doing rewrites in this movie after getting mugged, like at that same time and recovering from it, he told Paul Dini, don't include Harley Quinn. It's just a Joker. We'll just do the Joker. And as a child, I somewhat see the benefit in like what some people say where it's like, why do you need the Joker? This was a gritty grime story and the Joker's just inserted himself into it. But as I've gotten older and really thought about the myth of Batman, I think bringing the Joker in as like the third counterpoint to Batman and the Phantasm is perfect, because it's like both Batman and the Phantasm transformed into one way, and the Joker is also someone who transformed. Like, he perfectly mirrors the arc, and introducing him right here, where you're like, all these villains are getting like picked off, all these old school mobsters, so who's left? Oh, that's right. The supervillain, the psychotic clown, the Joker. Like, he's such a perfect metaphor for the story this movie is telling, that this is such a good use of the Joker.
And he's funny.
Yeah, well, he's
too,
funny,
yes.
but it perfectly ties everything that has happened, like in Bruce Wayne's past and Andrea's past, to where he has become now. And I think it makes it all the more tragic that it's not just like a set piece of the abandoned dreams of the future, which is fine on its own. But what makes it even worse, it is now the hideout for the arch nemesis of Batman,
and he's the most twisted guy.
The most twisted guy that Batman has ever fought now lives in the wreckage of his future. So it ties that idea perfectly together and makes it all the more tragic that this life with Andrea wasn't possible.
And I'll get to it later on, but I actually think the backstory for Joker works better here than in the 1989 Batman, where for some reason it hits harder, his involvement here, than it does in the 89 Batman, because in the 89 Batman, he hasn't seen him for years. So he's like, oh yeah, he was that guy who killed my parents. But in this movie, it's almost like finding out that coworker you hated, like who you see every day, like ran over your dog when you were like 4, because you see him every day.
It's a cruel twist of fate.
But back in the day, he had a mullet, and so I drew a mullet over his his crew cut.
Oh no, Jeff!
You gave him a skull on his t-shirt. Sid, you used to torture my toys.
We've talked about Joker living in the future. I love that he's completely by himself, living in a fake 50s like living room, and he's married to a robot.
He's banging the robot, and he has a dog.
We need to get into this a little bit, because the thing about, I'm just going to get this conversation started now, because we're here to talk about Mark Hamill Joker.
Yeah.
I'm very conflicted about this Joker.
Fuck off.
What do you do? Take your Gene Siskel shit out of here, you motherfucker.
Go back to your Chicago Tribune and your Gene Siskel Center, and you stay there.
The thing about Mark Hamill's Joker is he can do it all. But that also means that he has done it all. And he's a chameleon.
That's a bad thing?
and he's whatever the story requires. Basically what he is, though, is he's what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure what his ethos is. because he's only concerned with messing with Batman. But isn't that a bit limiting? You know?
My God. Arrest this guy. Kill this guy. Kill this guy.
What you're trying to say is that he's less about society in this?
A little. I don't know. I want to know his values. You know, I'm not quite sure.
What do you mean his values?
Okay, I'm shutting this podcast down because this movie reveals the whole approach to the Mark Hamill Joker, which Paul Dini elaborated on in a Batman black and white short story called Case Study. Paul Dini and Bruce Timm argument is that the Joker, everyone knows who the Joker was. He's just a criminal who fell into a vat of acid and thus became liberated to just be an asshole to everyone. The Mark Hamill Joker is just a total dick to everybody, and he'll ruin Christmas, he'll ruin April Fool's Day, he'll ruin a casino, he'll ruin the fish.
He'll spray around smelly Joker garbage.
He's kind of like if the Jack Nicholson Joker had survived. Like, we only think the Jack Nicholson Joker had an agenda because he only lived long enough to goon for Vicky Vale and ruin the news.
Yeah, and be an artist.
He stole the cosmetics so that the fake face of Gotham melted away.
Oh my God, Paul is gonna vote for RFK.
Oh my God.
The worms they're eating.
Where else is he gonna get Amelia Earhart's corpse?
Yeah.
If he doesn't vote for RFK.
Okay, and my second point is directly to what we're saying. You know, taking away Harley Quinn and giving him like a sex bot instead. I'm not sure if that makes him more alpha or more beta.
No, it's not a sex bot. If Disneyland closed and I started living in the great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Dude, you'd be banging that Mike Wazowski animatronic, admit it.
Look, Joker even says it himself. You can't help who you fall in love with.
True, she's a real homebody, but you can't help who you fall in love with. Ooh.
Here's the thing that makes it even funnier is that at first you think this is a bit that he does because Sal is here and he's fucking with him. But even behind closed doors, he's still hitting on the robot.
Yeah.
What do you say, hon? Feeling the old electricity tonight?
And he treats the dog so seriously.
Down, Rusty.
I think it's alpha, honestly, because I mean, I like Harley Quinn, but I don't like the implication that the Joker has sex because that's not Sigma. You know what I mean?
No, the Joker does not have sex with Harley Quinn. He throws her out a window every time she tries to have sex with him. Watch the cartoon.
That is true. That is true. I don't know. I don't see why you're conflicted, Paul, because this Gooner has been playing the Joker for like 35 years, right? It's like of course he does everything because he's been the Joker in like every type of story you could imagine.
Again, Mark Hamill's Joker is scarier because he's just a guy. That's the genius of Batman the Animated Series. Everyone is just a guy who got dumped.
Not in Arkham Asylum. He turns into a God of War monster in that one.
Oh, in Arkham Asylum?
Well, this is what I'm saying, but we don't have to talk about that right now.
That sounds like the Return of the Joker, the Killing Joke.
That's the thing. This will be a two-part discussion because this is classic Hamill Joker.
Yes.
And then it becomes twisted.
This is the movie where Mark Hamill claims he figured out his Joker performance. I think Batman the Animated Series is the peak of his Joker, both in voice, because he has so much elasticity with the tones he brings to the Joker. But also, this is hands down like the best design for the Joker.
Yes.
Like, I don't think it can even be argued. I think Bruce Timm has stopped using the Joker in large part because he gets mad that everyone knows he
fucked it up.
It's insane. It's insane what they did. Like, what the hell is that thing in the new Adventures?
Yeah, like they made him Freakazoid. Why is he Freakazoid?
Yeah, well, in his sick, twisted mind, is he going like, well, the black eyes make him otherworldly and more scary, and then he's just like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong here. I just need to make him look more evil.
I can save 12 cents on printing costs if I make him look like Doug.
Like the bully from Doug. He totally looks like the bully from Doug.
Oh man,
he does have the color scheme.
Yes, but revisiting classic Hamill Joker, it's like this is what the Joker looks like.
Yeah,
he's got the big pointy chin. He's angular.
And he's able to successfully sell being funny and light, and when he needs to be, the most terrifying thing that you've ever seen in your life. And you don't even need to telegraph that he's evil because he has red eyes or Mickey Mouse eyes, and he looks like the bully from Doug. You don't need to do that. It's just like, that's the genius of this design. And it's whatever the story, in the series and in this, it's like, whatever the story needs him to be, he will give you like the best thing ever. It's like, you want a funnier Joker than we've had before? We got that. We want him to be like in the scariest scene that will give children nightmares. He can do that too.
The close-ups in this movie where they just go super tight on him and all the color disappears from behind him.
It's scary. It's genuinely freaky, yeah. When he's like, don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been.
Don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been.
Jan, how do you feel about the large amounts of Spanish this Joker?
The A-plot.
Mi casa nostra es su casa nostra.
Joker, hermano, ya eres mexicano. This guy's one of us, man.
But Mi Casa Nostra is a pun on Casa Nostra.
No, I know, but it's the problem is Sue. But I don't want to give you Spanish lessons to the fucking Joker.
But the point is, he's a jokester. This Joker. He's got a nickname for everybody. I did write down. He calls Batman Guano Man.
You know, I've been reading lately how old Guano Man is wound tight enough to snap.
Solid diss.
I love the part where it's such a beautiful realization where Sal Velasquez like, they're bumping all of us up. And he's like, I heard, wouldn't it be great if I finally have driven Batman off the deep end? And he's like kicking his legs in the air. And then Sal's like, but if he kills us, he'll kill you. And Joker's like, like angry at him for like even.
Well, he's like a little kid. He's he's always got a scheme, but then he's always ready to throw a tantrum and get back up again. It's bipolar. It's wonderful.
My God, you pussies were saying that fucking Joker dancing to Prince was the scariest thing ever.
I never said that.
Like,
play the tape.
Abe Vigoda, when he has the Joker smile, was traumatizing to me as a child.
Oh my God. No, the way the Joker kills him where he's like, calm down, Sal. Let's get a smile. And he does that little, like, friendly smile. The Joker's
like he thinks he's, like, safe with the... He's just like, oh, I'm on the Joker's good side. He's not going to kill me. And he's, like, relieved. And then you get that's what I want to see. A nice big smile. And you get that creepy ass...
Yeah.
Like, you go from... Joker about to like kill him out of rage for suggesting that Batman is going to kill him and Batman is killing people to it's all good, bro. Yes, I'm gonna give you the creepiest death ever.
Look, and the fact that he's doing that in this PG baby movie, that's pretty based. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, Paul. You're not wrong.
I so wish this wasn't a dumb cartoon. What if they remade this in live action? Could that work?
I think it'd work as well as a Guy Ritchie directed Aladdin movie.
Genie, wishes, lamp, none of that ringing a bell.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work, Jan, because if they made this, it would have to be 3 hours long. And the Joker would have to start a TikTok stream.
It would basically be our trailer for this podcast, but 3 hours.
Yeah, basically would be, dude.
Yes. Okay, one other point before. I don't think this is... I'm trying to remember if this is even in the movie or in the series, but I do. One thing I like about this Joker, how have they never brought back... somewhere in there, he wears a very wide-brimmed purple hat.
He wears that in the Mad Love comic book.
He also wears it in The Laughing Fish. He wears it in a bunch of...
he wears it in the show.
The Joker's Favor. No, it's not brought back in later movies, I guess, is what Paul is trying to say.
Yeah, it's such a good fit. It's such a good look.
I mean, he does wear the hat when he shoots Barbara Gordon in The Killing Joke.
He does.
Oh, no. Well, we'll get to that. But
Paul's favorite comic book. No.
And Jack Nicholson wears the hat.
Well, but that's not nearly big enough.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty big hat. It's a pretty wide hat.
It's just that Jack Nicholson has a massive hat.
But also, yeah, he has a big head. So.
What are we talking about?
I don't know what Paul's talking about because I think he's like expecting it to be like Scary Movie 3 where the hat changes
where the hat gets bigger every
from
shot.
shot to shot.
Yes, he should have his skin, whatever.
Yeah, so he goes to investigate South Alaska and he finds the first person this version of the Joker has ever been allowed to kill, because in the TV show, Batman always had an antitoxin.
Oh, I also forgot to say that Smiley Man, he's very anime coded. Go on.
Yeah, Abe Vigoda.
Oh, yes.
But we're also missing the scene where Batman confronts Andrea.
Oh, that's where the last flashback comes in.
Yeah, so Batman shows up at Andrea's apartment after she's gone on a date with Arthur Reeve, and Batman has connected that, wait a second, all these mob guys that are dying, they were all connected, and they all knew Andrea's father, and it's suspicious that everyone is dead and Andrea is back, so something has to be tied up with this. Batman witnesses Andrea making Batman jealous because she can see Batman in the shadows, and she makes out with Hart Bochner. Right when she like turns on the light and he's there, she's just kind of going like, "Fuck you for spying on me."
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, like no big deal. Give it.
Yeah,
just,
no
like,
big deal. It's just
off.
like you're Batman. Of course you are.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great line where it's like, "You're still following Daddy's orders." And she's like, "Bruce, the only one I see hung up on her parents is you."
Snap!
Oh, and then Batman leaves, but then she breaks down sobbing and breaks a glass because these are people. They're human beings.
Well, it's not just that. We'll later find out that she is completely lying to him.
Yeah, she's actually a total hypocrite. She actually is just downing him while just glazing over her bad behavior, which reminds me of a couple of my exes. If I may take this moment to vent.
Fast forward.
And then we get the final flashback where Bruce Wayne does the very normal thing of proposing to Andrea.
Right outside of a bat cave.
Yeah, I always thought I was throwing off part of the plan. You are the plan, Andy. And then all the bats get him, and it's like, get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's really heartbreaking, but there's also something really funny to me that he's coming out of a cave, and Alfred's just like, you got mail, and it's just a note that says, fuck you.
Need more time? Not ready yet. Move on, forget about me. But wait, before that scene, we have the first meeting of Bruce Wayne and the Joker. Because they've walked in, they've seen all the mobsters ganging up on her dad.
And there's this suspicious-looking, pointy-nosed
Sicilian
man that
Italian. I mean the Joker. Yeah,
it's the Joker. But he growls at Andrea.
Yeah. And then Batman's like, this guy, he's got some jokes up his sleeve. And he's Italian.
He's a funnier mobster than I've seen before.
Yeah, it's
and again,
not okay.
I like it because they're like the same age. Like, again, just like meeting like someone from college who ends up becoming your arch enemy. Like, they're both babies.
No. and then decades later, he's publishing about Bitcoin. And
Right. He's doing a podcast with you about the Joker.
And he's in a fulfilling marriage to a robot while you're still single because you can't get over this redhead who ruined your life. Anyway.
Hey, Melissa's not a robot. She's dead. Okay.
Oh yeah, where's our Phantasm for this episode? Mr. Bros.
Your angel of death awaits.
Mr. Joke, your angel of death. But yeah, so we finally get him becoming Batman, not because of childhood trauma,
but because of teen drama.
No, he's like 21. He's like 22.
Okay, college trauma.
It's because he's like an incel, and honestly,
yeah,
who among us? If you're listening to a Joker podcast, you can probably relate. Am I right?
She dumped me for no good reason because
she tricked me, and I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and we get a scene that only works in animation and is the greatest introduction of Batman ever.
Oh, when they play the John Cena theme.
John Cena!
Yeah, when they play the John Cena theme.
And Alfred goes, where are you, Master Bruce? I can't see you.
And he dabs and goes, sheesh. That cave is bussin', yo.
Yo, I got the Riz now. I'm
the
a bat
Riz.
now.
and Alfred just pulls out a gun and shoots him in the face.
Only in animation. But wait, what are you getting at, Jake?
So what I'm getting at is, Batman is completely bathed in shadow, and or Bruce Wayne, and we see him put on the belt, but there's no color at all. And Alfred, it's almost like a funeral procession.
Yeah.
With Alfred carrying the cowl, and then finally Bruce reaches for the cowl, and Alfred walks over and hands it to him. And then we get that silhouette shot of Bruce looking into the cowl. And he puts it on his face and turns around, and Alfred's eyes go wide in horror. The music is fucking going hard. Freaking Shirley Walker is like that meme of the guy on the piano on fire on the beach. It's just like, oh, 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 oh. And we get a zoom of his eyes. He gets the angry eyes, and it is horrifying, and it's awesome, and it's sad. I cried about it afterward.
Okay, enough.
It's all sorts of emotions, but it only works in animation because you can't really do something like that, like turn like a bad, like really into like this abstracted like triangle demon man, and it actually sells Alfred's like horrified reaction of just like, oh my god, Bruce Wayne is now he's gone. he's now a Batman.
Are you saying that a dumb cartoon can be a great movie? The infantilization of culture is...
Yes.
Well, wait. No, Jake's claiming you can only do this in animation, but you can do this in live action. Because when I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and Wolverine put on the Wolverine mask,
you're right,
and he just had the white eyes, and he turned into a cartoon, I was like, my God.
I fell asleep during that scene.
Oh my God. That was the whole point of the movie, Jan.
That was a different kind of horror.
The whole point of the movie is to sell me shit. I was like sleepy.
So anyway.
We missed a great Alfred moment earlier when Alfred goes, sir, I take it after you do that, you're going to go see her. And Batman's like, you think you know me so well. And Alfred's like, I type at your bottom, sir. I bloody well ought to.
And then Batman goes like, well, you're wrong.
Well, you're wrong.
The only time that it's a little weird to hear like Kevin Conroy's voice is when he's petulant to Alfred. Because it's just like, I'm saying things that a teenager would say, but it's Batman's voice. Well, you're wrong. So Batman, he catches up with the Phantasm after Sal blows up because the Joker kills him.
Because he figures out it's not Batman. The Joker's a smart Joker.
Well, Joker already kind of knows that it's not Batman because he's the other soulmate in Batman's life. Anyway.
They're all a weird menage a trois. This is Challengers.
But who's the cuck?
Not the Joker, that's for sure.
Batman's the cuck because he has to watch her date other guys.
Yeah, because Batman's weak and beta. Come on.
And he has to watch her finish off the Joker.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's it.
I just got it.
This place is gonna explode.
The place is wired to explode.
We gotta get out of here, Andrea. He's gonna blow.
What will vengeance solve?
Bruce, I have to finish this. No, Andrea. All right, so Batman has caught up with Phantasm, and Phantasm in their Stacy Keach voice is like, this is not your fight, and does a jujitsu move on him, and then teleports away. And then Harvey Bullock is like, this is the police. We got you surrounded. Because, Batman wouldn't answer the bat signal earlier. And once again, all right, have you guys been keeping track of every time Batman uses the bat plane, it just gets unusable by the end of whatever adventure?
He just uses it to show up, and then he jumps out of it and then flies away.
No, because in this movie, the police take it.
Oh, right. Yeah, they impound it. I forgot. You're right. So now he has to escape, and then they do another Batman Year One riff.
Yeah.
Where he's inside a constructed building, not a tenement this time, because we don't want any collateral damage.
We don't want any untoward thing, but it leads to that really fun moment where Harvey Bullock's like, let's shoot Batman, and it's just his cape attached to a grappling hook and like a barrier.
And they shoot it through, and they're like, oh my God, he faked us. And Bruce Wayne is running around without a cape and cowl, and he's bloody. That's another thing about this movie that kind of tripped me up as a kid. It's got blood.
Yeah.
It's pretty violent for a children's cartoon.
It's pretty
And
messed
see,
up.
the thing is, as a kid, you don't notice that the movie has blood. You just trick your brain into thinking the animated show had blood too.
I always kind of thought, like, when I was a kid, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is hardcore, and I remember it being more violent than it actually is. Like, there's blood everywhere. Batman's like, his face
because you were a dumb
up.
kid, dude.
I know, I was. I mean, I'm still a dumb man, but
what they did keep was a full-on penetration between Batman and Andrea. That was awesome. Bold but awesome.
Well, we're getting to that. So Andrea shows up, and Batman is about to get caught by the cops, but she shows up in her fucking convertible, and he gets in, and then the police just kind of give up.
They're like, he jumped over a fence. I'm Harvey Bullock. I'm too fat to jump over a fence.
The car go fast. We can't catch it now.
And Harvey Bullock is like sweating and like grunting, and like, he's mad. This is the best version of Harvey Bullock. By the way, I don't think that's up for debate.
Well, have you seen Batman Caped Crusader?
Yeah, he's just kind of there. I mean, it's not a bad Bullock. At least it's better than like 1989 Batman or The Dark Knight, where it's kind of Harvey Bullock, but it's not. I'm so confused.
So anyway, Andrea saves him, takes him back to Wayne Manor, and
they get it on.
Well, actually, this is where Batman finds out from another flashback what happened the night he dropped her off with all the mobsters. And it turns out that Stacy Keach has skimmed money off of the mobsters, and the mobsters are coming to collect, and he buys time for one more day, even though he doesn't have the money, and they need to escape to Europe, or else the mobsters will find them and kill them. That is why Andrea ditched out on the engagement, and she hints at that her father has come back to seek his revenge.
Because they wouldn't be satisfied with the money. They wanted their weight in blood.
They wanted their interest compounded in blood.
And then this is when Bruce Wayne just draws a smile on a guy, and he's like,
no.
Joker.
This is when Bruce Wayne has sex.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne has sex, and it is definitive that they have sex because we see the morning after. He's in his pajama bottoms. She's wearing his pajama tops with nothing underneath. They just boned, and it's a kid's movie.
Which makes him the bad guy in this Joker story, the fact that he boned.
The fact that he has sex. This is a movie that begins with Bugs Bunny greeting you with the Warner Brothers Family Entertainment logo.
And then it has a post-coital conversation where he's like, you know this is going to have to come down to me and your father.
I want to see a minion introduce the movie Antichrist by Lars von Trier.
This is the point when you see Batman boning. This is the point where you ask yourself, where's Robin? And he's at college. Shut up. He's not here.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you this, Troy. Where does this take place on the DC Animated Universe timeline?
I put it, if you go to my website, troysramblings.com, I did a complete timeline of Batman, the animated series, and I would place the bulk of the main events of Batman, Mask of the Phantasm to be in, I believe, the second week of December 1993, which is roughly in between the episodes of Batman, the animated series, Zatanna and the Mechanic. I like putting this here because if you watch Paging the Crime Doctor, Zatanna, Mask of the Phantasm, and the Mechanic, you get nice flashbacks in order of Thomas Wayne's youth, Batman training with Zatanna's father, Batman becoming Batman, and Batman getting the Batmobile, all in chronological order. Typically, I think will also take place roughly at this time, but I think you could watch it interchangeably with the Mechanic. Right now, we're going to talk about, so Batman's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should get married. Rick, what do you think? And Rick's just like, dude, be normal. Be normal, Batman.
Is he Morty from Rick and Morty?
Okay. At first, I thought you were just, we've been podcasting for a while, and I thought you just had dementia.
Yeah.
He's got dementia.
Who's Rick?
Anyway, Joker goes to meet Arthur Reeves. And he's wearing the hat, and he has a pimp cane.
Yeah, this is a good fucking look.
And it's a great reveal. This is where we actually get like the organ like going hard. That might be being played by Hans Zimmer, where it's like dun 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 with the lightning. He's like in silhouette, and then the light comes on his face, and then he peers into the camera like, eh.
And he's there when Arthur Reeves is on the phone with Andrea because she's bailing on their date.
We have Joker saying spawn of his loins.
We're talking about the old man, and the spawn of his loins just happens to call.
Not allowed to say that.
He did not just say that. Yeah.
So the cum shot out of his dick just happened to call.
Oh, dear gullible Jake, if you think this is hardcore, wait till you see a movie called Deadpool, my friend. That is insane.
Man. My mom won't let me watch it.
Yeah, me neither. But I've seen clips on YouTube.
So Joker injects Arthur with some Joker venom.
One more thing he does before he injects him with that. We have our first uniquely gay moment from the Joker. Yo, it's Batman who's killing everyone. And then Joker goes, nope, nope, nope. I've seen the guy. He's nowhere near as cute as Batboy.
Yes.
So this is the first time we have the Joker saying he thinks Batman is cute. This will not be the last.
I don't know if I love what you're insinuating, Troy. I don't know how this. Again, I'm very conflicted about this Joker.
Wait, is Paul saying he's against LGBTQ plus Joker?
No, LGBTQ8. He is A1 nut boy.
You're an A1 nut boy.
All right, so let's we're getting to the end.
So he's injected Arthur Reeves, as you said, with the gas, and we get the scene in the hospital. Terrifying scene. He's in the hospital.
Hart Bochner is also killing it with those laughs.
He's having a freak out. To the point that I couldn't tell if he was the same guy as the kid.
I feel like what they tried to do in the Joker movie, the Todd Phillips one with like the guy that like can't stop laughing and it's painful, it's done better here.
It's even more horrifying here.
Yeah, like he's crying, he's convulsing, he genuinely can't stop. Like when Joaquin Phoenix does it, you're like, you can stop now, you know? Like,
it's just a method actor that's laughing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a condition. This guy has a motherfucking condition because he's like, I am fearful that Batman is going to beat the shit out of me and I can't stop laughing and it's painful.
One of the best moments in this movie is when he sees Batman and he just goes, oh no!
Also, I want to point out what makes the scene worse is they have the doctors like calm him down and they're like, well, as long as nothing excites him, he'll live. So you know every moment Batman's talking to him, he's like killing him?
Yeah.
Like, that's so messed up and so like dark.
But we learn what happens. We learn that Arthur Reeves' involvement in all this. He was the guy who sold out Andrea and Andrea's father out to the mob and told them where they're hiding.
To get campaign money.
Yeah, to get campaign money. Because Mr. Beaumont refused to fund his election campaign.
So you sold him to the mob. Like, I swear to God, like, between that scene, if I'm not quoting Mr. Krabs, so you killed him from SpongeBob, I'm quoting, so you sold him to the mob. Like, anytime I see someone screw someone else over, I'm like, you sold him to the mob. And then we get the final flashback, which is the hardest moment in Joker history, when she's walking in with groceries, and then the Joker is just a guy, and he walks out.
Yeah, she's like, wait, we paid you.
And then she runs in and screams while the Joker just picks up an apple and like, it's so brutal. Jesus.
Yeah, come on, Paul. How can you say this isn't Sigma, Joker?
Yeah, shut up, Paul.
Well, this is something else. This is because, again, he's not Joker yet. And also, it's like, there's just a lot going on.
Well, again, the whole point Paul Dini made is, in his mind, the Joker is not actually insane. He's just like this, and he uses the idea that he became the Joker as a cover to avoid facing consequences for his actions, which I always like because, to be honest, I feel that's most of the people I've met in my life.
That we all plead insanity.
Yes.
That's very Joker-coded of you.
I'm not saying I don't do it too, folks. But anyway.
We all live behind a mask of society.
We're all super sane, to quote Grant Morrison.
Super normal.
Yes.
That's the theme of this episode. We're all super normal.
Yeah.
Our most normal episode.
Jan's married to a ghost.
And our producer has been doing this whole podcast with his pants off.
Well, we already knew that because he's a cat.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
All right, can we talk about the cool climax?
It's funny because the reveal of Andrea as the Phantasm is kind of done very matter-of-factly, where it's not like, dun, 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 it was Andrea. It's like the pieces of, wait a second, sold out to the mob. Batman shows up to her apartment and Joker lays out a bomb for her and calls her the Grim Reaper, and you're like, oh, she's the Phantasm.
Yeah.
She's not a red-headed red herring. She is the Phantasm.
Batman and the Joker, to be clear.
Yes, Joker solved it first.
That's an alpha move.
Because he knew Carl Beaumont was dead because he killed it.
Okay.
Paul is just watching this movie like a sports match, and he's like, point for Joker.
Well, no, that's how I'm approaching this podcast.
So Phantasm shows up to the Joker masturbating to a robot.
This is the most alpha he gets, I think. He figured out who Phantasm is. He's with his sex bot, and when Phantasm shows up, he smacks her with a giant sausage.
Yeah,
it's a giant bologna.
That is the best moment in the entire movie.
It's because he's reaching for the knife. That's what makes it the most Joker-coded moment.
Yeah, because he could just get the knife and stab her in the face, but he's the Joker, and he just wants to do the gag with the bologna.
Yeah, he's going under Roger Rabbit rule, where he can only do it if it's funny, and that's what I love. Again, this movie is our most grounded Joker because he doesn't need some big riddle or trap. He just needs some toy planes and a sausage, and he's good with all his wacky antics.
Yeah, and he's just like, see, this is funny. Some people don't think this is funny.
Funny. And he turns on a giant fan. Batman fucks it up. It explodes. And
No, he fucks it up by throwing his motorcycle in it because, like all great Batman movies, Batman does not care how much of his expensive machines he breaks to ruin the Joker's day.
He uses Alfred as a human shield and punches him.
He literally, like, throws his motorcycle into the giant fan to save Andrea, who has thrown away the Phantasm mask.
He throws Alfred into the giant fan.
and the Joker's reaction to this is just a little snap.
Yeah, he's just like, darn it.
This climax is awesome. Just like,
I love it.
Okay, so like there's fighting killer robots, there's fighting in a tiny city.
Joker becomes kaiju. This is another major alpha moment.
Okay, Paul's pants are fully off now, and he's loving this.
Yeah. But no, and we have that great human moment. But Andy, what will vengeance solve? And she goes,
if anyone knows the answer to that, Bruce, it's you.
And Batman's like, yes.
Yeah, but Batman has a spit take after she says that.
Batman is the dumbest guy ever because you know that after she owned him last time, he went to the shower and tried to think of a cool comeback, and now he has the opportunity for that, and he's got nothing.
Well, the problem is in between this one and this one, he already did come back with her. You know what I'm saying?
But then he tells Andrea to fuck off because he needs to do a fight with the Joker. And this very emotional line delivery that Kevin Conroy delivers, he's just like...
Kevin Conroy. You keep calling him Kevin Connery. He's not
Kevin Connery. That's the other brother of Sean Connery.
Sean, Neil, and Kevin.
See, this is Sean Connery's... he's not a plasterer. He worked in a sewage plant. Yeah. So he became the voice of Batman.
Please, Andrea, you know you owe me $50.
The definitive Batman. Yes, continue.
So he gives this really sad line delivery. It's in a wide shot, and you just hear Batman go like,
"Leave, Andy, now, please."
Yeah,
it's so sad. So
yeah,
just
that real mixtures.
Where it's just like, well, if there was any hope of it ever working out, it's not just like a thing where it just kind of ended because the Joker tried to kill my dad and a bunch of mobsters. It's just like, the reason why it's not going to work out is because you're a murderer. It's the Catwoman Batman thing in Batman Returns, but done better.
Yeah. And it's actually better than the show's take on Catwoman, because my problem with the Batman the Animated Series Catwoman is she basically just fights for animal rights. She's not actually like that. She's just kind of annoying. She's not that bad.
Okay, does this movie have a scene where Catwoman rubs Batman's balls?
Yes, she does. When they're nestling, Andrea rubs his balls in the future world.
Oh, right. I forgot. Yeah. Point given.
But it wasn't Catwoman, though, so...
No, again, here it is better because she's rubbing his balls to completion in front of Alfred.
Yeah.
Well, now she needs to rub off the Joker.
I like how Batman just wants to beat the crap of the Joker. Like, this is really no different from any other time the Joker's broken out of Arkham Asylum. It is my belief this is after the episode Harley and Ivy, where Harley Quinn went to team up with Poison Ivy, which is why the Joker is operating alone in universe.
You putting on a nerd voice will not make you sound any less of a self-aware.
But the Joker is wearing the Thunderball jetpack.
Yes, he is.
Major points. Joke pack, you might say.
We're back, baby.
Major alpha move until Batman jumps on it and then it crashes immediately.
No one has even brought up the fact that Batman fucking knocks out the Joker's fucking tooth.
Oh yeah,
he kicks him so hard in the face that his tooth flies out of his face and there's blood everywhere.
And the Joker is still laughing. Paul, alpha move.
You know, you gotta hand it to him.
So, okay, Paul is like, I'm not sure about this Joker. And then he's like, robot sex, alpha, kaiju, alpha, jetpack, alpha.
Well, that's the thing. There's so much alpha, but he's also so easily foiled, like, again and again and again.
Well, he's just a guy. And to be fair, it seems like he doesn't have any of his goons here. It feels like he's flying off the seat of his pants.
What happened to the Joker that had principles, that talked about society, that was the leader of a movement?
Paul, you don't understand. In this movie, he hasn't even been foiled yet. What he has done is that he kills a mobster, he solves the crime before Batman does, has a jetpack. What about him? He hasn't lost yet. He's out winning. And then Andrea finishes him off.
I want to point out that, yeah, everyone's like the Joker wins in The Dark Knight. No, the Joker wins in Mask of the Phantasm because he's the whole reason why this murder spree happens.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get murdered.
Troy is still angry at me for saying that the Joker won in 2018.
It's not just you, Jan.
Okay,
It's society.
We're gonna. That's a discussion for another day. But we just got to a conundrum here because I think Jake just said he does get shwasted by Andrea. So what's the takeaway here?
All right, so let's break down what's happening here. The coolest scene in history is happening here.
Yes.
Where even though Batman has chased Joker through a city where he's pretending to be the Empire State Building, riding the monorail, there's little WB logos on all the buildings, classic Dick Spring, big set action. Batman is getting his ass rocked by the Joker, and then Andrea gets him, and he's like, all right, take me to jail. Tell her, Batman. Batman's like, Andy, no! And then Andrea's like, I gotta what he took from us! Think of what we could have had! Think of what we could have been! And Batman's like, but you can't do it. But then the whole place is wired to explode, and hell on earth erupts in the most beautiful explosions you've ever seen.
This is the most Sigma Joker moment, like ever.
And as the world blows up around him, he just starts laughing with his broken teeth.
He is in the face of certain death, and his home and lair are being destroyed, which is also a symbolic representation of the possible life between Andrea and Bruce Wayne. And what is he doing? He is laughing his ass off. This is the most alpha we've ever seen. Like, even more so than Dancing to Prince. I'm sorry. This is even more. This is the most alpha thing ever, as a choir is swelling in the background.
What about when he farts? What about when he hits Andrea with Bologna?
Even bigger than that.
It would be funny if when the Joker farted in Batman 89, there were like these beautiful explosions and operettas.
Very cool scene. My favorite Joker death that's been portrayed in the media.
Well, now we get into it. Is this the death of the Joker?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Because in the comic, we find out she teleported away.
I don't give a shit about the comic. I saw a movie.
But he appears in more episodes.
But I just saw the movie.
You're going to watch another movie next week.
Yeah, we're going to watch another movie next week that will be the actual death of the Joker.
But okay, it's so heartbreaking when Andrea's on the boat and some guy tries to hit on her, some slimo, and
there's a fun fact about that character.
No fun fact. And
all right, we'll get to it when we get to the scene.
We are at the scene.
He caught a picture of Batman in the Phantasm at the same time, and that's the in-universe reason why Batman's name gets cleared of the murder.
Okay, cool.
So this guy's trying to hit Andrea. He's like, do you want to be left alone? She says, yes, I am alone. And she says that because she's become the darker side of what Batman could be, which is just a murderer, which has alienated her from everyone.
Which is explained in a beginning scene because as far as Bruce Wayne knows, Andrea is dead. She's given herself over to the dark side and taken the Joker in a puff of smoke as the entire thing blows up. And Batman is sulking in the Batcave as Alfred comforts him and goes like, vengeance blackens the soul. I was always afraid that you would fall into it, and I thank God every day that you haven't fallen into it yet. And that's the biggest difference between him and Andrea. But we get a little thing where Batman sees a glimmer out in the cave, and he runs towards the glimmer, and it is Andrea's locket that still has the picture of her and Bruce Wayne. And Batman realizes, I'm glad she's alive, but we can never be together because she's a psychotic murderer.
Yeah, it's a glimmer of hope, but this ending doesn't read to me like...
Oh no, this ending is like the saddest thing ever.
No, it's nothing hopeful about this. It's melancholy.
Well, exactly.
Well, it's the fact that he knows that she's alive. That's good. But he can never be with her. That's bad.
But then this doesn't read to me as like Andrea being like, oh, I shouldn't kill the Joker. It reads to me as I fucking killed the Joker. I killed everyone. And I'm sad now.
The opposite. where she didn't kill the Joker, and they do say this in the comic, so Paul Dini and Bruce Timm agree with us.
I'm not gonna take a tie-in comic.
So when she got the Joker in the sewer system, she realized after all the killing she'd done, like, what was the point? Like, Bruce hates her. Like, it's over.
It's not just that. In the comic, she looks at the Joker and she's like, this guy does not even resemble the man who killed my father. He's something else.
She didn't draw a face on him.
Yeah, but then she thinks about what Bruce Wayne told her, which is, what does vengeance solve? And in that split second, another bomb goes off and the Joker escapes. But she has some sort of solace with that because the Joker is a deformed clown maniac who isn't the her father's killer anymore. So she has some sort of catharsis from that. Well, it's like, well, at least all the people have atoned for the death of my father, and she's down this dark path still, which I think is fine.
That might be a neat excuse to why the Joker lives, but I just think the ending is much more powerful if she just kills everyone.
Why? That's the simple answer. Why?
Why? Because that's the simple answer, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, sometimes the simpler answers are the most powerful ones. And I think the point of this movie is that Andrea is taking the easy, simple route, which is just a gut punch to Batman.
All right, so if I'm following straight here, it's like the ending isn't sad if Andrea doesn't kill the Joker.
No, it's still sad. It's less sad.
How is it less sad? Because either way, she's a ruined person.
The point is that killing is bad, even if it's the Joker.
This is like saying the killing joke would only be sad if Batman killed the Joker. Or, okay, like this keeps on coming up with Joker stories. So I think it's interesting to introduce now is why is this expectation that the Joker needs to die an important part of a Joker story?
But let's get to the last scene of the movie.
But we already saw this scene in the 1989 Batman.
But it means something differently here. It is not a triumphant note. It is a I'm stuck in purgatory vibe. Here is I can't connect with another human being on a romantic level because I have to keep fighting bad guys. But the bat symbol calls to me and I gotta go to work. Here we go.
Where have we heard this before? Sorry, I'm making a joke about Casino Royale 06. The bitch is dead. Anyway, go on.
Yes.
It's not this gothic archetype. It's just a guy who's heartbroken. Like, Batman's so human at this ending. Whereas all the live action movies have to end with Batman being like a symbol, right? Like, that's the ending of every live action Batman movie is, at least I'm still Batman. But this movie allows him to have like this very human moment that it directly compares to like a woman being sad at a New Year's party. And like, they're like parallel shots. And the music is back to the chanting. And then we get the smoothest slow jam song.
Sung by Tia Carrera of Wayne's World.
It would have been awesome if they got Party Man by Prince.
The song is very, very boring. And I don't remember. I always forget about it.
This song breaks my heart.
It's on the level of the GoldenEye end credits song.
Get the hell out of here. GoldenEye end credits song wishes it was I never even told.
Okay, so the Joker is dead, Batman's got his rocks off, and Paul snapped his own neck. The end. Final thoughts.
Yes.
We did it.
We should also say, if you want to read the sequel comic where we were talking about the Joker thing, Arthur Reeve comes back and he's permanently deformed by the Joker venom, and he has a permanent smile on his face. He tries to kill Bruce Wayne so that he can get Andrea Beaumont to come back so he can kill her. Or the
come back? I'm totally Joker pilled.
Yes, so that's where that story goes to. If you were curious, you can read it online.
And then in the later Batman adventures, Andrea, she comes back and they introduce this character called the Red Hood, who you think is going to be her dad. But actually, they were going to reveal it was going to be her mom. And what? I'm like, that's stupid. Everyone's like, oh, man, we missed out on some good comics. And I'm like, no. Go away. Stop.
No, that's bad. Don't read comics. They're bad and boring and made for children, like this cartoon.
But some of them, much like this podcast, has some of the greatest stories known to man.
They're about change.
But you have to take all of it as canon because
you do have to take all of it as canon, even when we did that reboot. How many? Actually, have we done 2 reboots now?
Maybe. Who cares? Final thoughts of Batman: The Mask, starring Jim Carrey.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, so Jim Carrey is really great, but the Joker is white, not green, so he fucked up. 5 out of 10. Mark Hamill as the Joker. So, Paul, you say, oh, I don't know if this Joker's gonna start a movement or what. Okay, so let me tell you a story about a young man called Siddhartha Gautama. Okay?
I'm afraid.
This fucking guy, just all he did was he sat under a tree.
Is that why the Buddha is smiling?
Yeah,
he's the Joker.
The Buddha's smiling because he killed your dad. He killed your dad.
We don't know his backstory. He's mysterious. It's multiple choice. But this guy just sat under a tree. It's this whole thing. It's one of the biggest religions in the world, my friend. This Joker is sitting. He's standing. He's in a jetpack. He's Godzilla. He hits someone with a piece of bologna. He laughs with a fiery explosion hellhole surrounding him. So, yes, I do think that this Joker is cool enough to start a following. Okay?
That's an interesting argument.
This is the best Joker so far, by far. Okay? So, the voice acting is immaculate, as we've mentioned. He is scary. He is very funny. And actually scary, not Prince Party Man scary, okay? He is actually, like, gets you the creeps sometimes. His design is amazing. His laugh is amazing. He is like... He's almost like his lack of specificity of what he wants kind of makes him the quintessential Joker. Where it's just like, he's kind of
just
all
like
the
Jack
Jokers.
Nicholson.
Shut up. He's kind of all the Jokers rolled into one. So he is awesome. His entrance in this halfway through the movie is like, you wish he was in the whole movie, but when he comes in, it's just like a moment for celebration, right? And he never gives up until the movie ends. His death is magnificent. And since I gave Jack Nicholson an 11 out of 10 last week, this Joker, I'm gonna give a 20 out of 10.
Holy shit.
He is one of the greatest animated characters of all time, in my opinion. I also really like Top Cat, but that is another,
Top Cat! Well, they both have big purple hats. That's probably why you like them.
They're probably the same character, like in Warner Brothers universe. So the movie, it's very good. 9 out of 10.
Great.
Yay.
Paul?
Okay. I hear what you're saying, Jan. And if I meditate for 1,000 years or whatever happened, and maybe I will be fully enlightened. It's complex, but basically in this film, he's pretty damn good. I'm trying to speak a little more broadly about Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill played many Jokers. That's the thing about him. We're going to talk about another one next week.
Wait, the one next week is the same Joker.
It is the same Joker, but you're saying that his problem is that he's too many things? Too much Joker?
Too much of a good thing?
He is Legion. Joker is Legion.
I'm sorry, Paul. I don't know what the problem is. You're complaining that you get an abundance of Joker and you're complaining.
Well, he can be all things to all people, and I understand the appeal of that, but also, the man has to stand for something,
I get the appeal of him being flexible, but I wish he could just be one thing for one person that a lot of people wouldn't like.
And you do realize that we're talking about a nihilistic clown, right?
I understand what you're saying. Well, see, that's an interesting issue, Jake. And I think we should get into this further in this series.
Okay.
Is the Joker truly nihilist? Okay. We're going to put a pin in that.
I actually think this is an interesting question as well, and I already know the correct answer, but continue.
Okay, good.
The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no.
I think basically the Joker, he's a badass guy. And the thing about putting comic books in cartoons is that they're already drawings. So, they just fundamentally make a lot of sense because it's the form that they should be. I'm sorry, I know I'm backtracking from how we started this podcast.
What? So Top Cat. Top Cat!
So Top Cat, that's what he should be. If you put a real cat in a hat, it's just never going to be the same. Anyway, basically, the thing is in this film, because it's not really designed around the Joker, he functions a little bit unusually in that he is more directly positioned as like a plot device and kind of a stand-in for like, the idea of vengeance, which he does function that way in other Batman stories. But this one really, it's like he's the thing in the middle for Bruce and Andrea to debate, right? What to be done, right? And so I think that's interesting. I don't know if it validates my views on society as much as we might like, but I can grow to appreciate that. So for that reason, I'm going to give it merely a 9.5 out of 10. Because he's a
you madman.
Arrest this guy.
Kill this guy. Kill this guy.
You keep trying to say that the Joker has to have a point. And that's the thing. The Joker doesn't have to have a point. That's why he's Joker.
As a great man named Tim Burton.
Candy doesn't need to have a point.
Point is, he's a great Joker. The film, look, it's a masterpiece. It's got a few rough edges. It's a little low budget. It's fine. It's all in the writing. This is the definitive Batman, and this is basically the definitive version of Batman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's the best of that, but we don't like Batman.
Oh my God.
But the Joker's still in it, so it's good.
Yeah, that's true.
It is breathtaking how much drama and psychology is packed into 70 minutes. There's still plenty of action for the kiddies. And blood, I guess, if your TV has 480p, Or if you were lucky enough to be the 5 people that saw this in the theater.
Or if you're Jake and Prince scares you.
Well, have you seen the Bat Dance?
Keep busting.
His legs move with a mind of his own.
Right. Yeah, if you watch the animated series title sequence and you're like, there's totally blood in this, I can see it.
It's the goriest thing I've ever seen.
But yes, this film is a banger. I mean, we can debate about post-Nolan, but definitely pre-Nolan. The level of just investment in characters and arcs is kind of unmatched.
You are talking about Batman Returns right now, right?
Wait, you are talking about Batman v Superman if you're talking post-Nolan.
Well, we can debate that too.
Oh my God, this day just keeps getting worse.
Well, actually, we won't have to because we're not covering BVS because the Joker is not in it.
But we do have to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League Justices Gray, the sequel.
That is true.
Okay, well we'll get to all of that and more. I'm giving the movie a 9 out of 10. 2 final points. It is a point for Mark Hamill. He gets the "and" in the credits.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Very nice. It would be better if he was top billed.
Oh my God.
And also, I think I had a last thought about the lack of Harley. And I think, I gotta think it just because I feel like there was a conspiracy against Mr. J in this film. I think if Harley was in here, it would be too humiliating for Bruce that his love life is so dysfunctional. Meanwhile, the Joker is living the ultimate domestic bliss,
But he's got a robot.
So, Paul, how would you rate The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Oh, 10 out of 10, easy.
Okay, good.
Wait, Paul, have you rated Batman Mask of the Phantasm yet?
Yes, sorry. It's a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. It's great.
Go to hell.
Yeah. All right, go
on. Yes, so Mark Hamill's Joker, there isn't really much more to be said about him. He is peak Joker. Unlike Paul, who's concerned about what is his ethos? Do people follow him? Does he start a movement? I'm like, motherfucker, I would follow him to the ends of the earth. The motherfucker is laughing in the face of Judgment Day. He has a jetpack. He fucks a robot. I will follow him anywhere. But yeah, no, Mark Hamill does it all. He adds on Jack Nicholson's performance. So far, we have like a progression of Jokers. We get Cesar Romero's Joker. Great start. We get Jack Nicholson's Joker, who's I don't care what you say. Him dancing to Prince is terrifying. But here, they build on top of that. It's not that he dances to Prince and he's scary. He is scary, but he also...
He's scary without Prince.
Yeah, he's scary without Prince. And he's also disarmingly funny. He's like, oh, he's making a joke with me. He's totally not going to strap a bomb to my chest and give me a weird death grin to try to kill somebody. That's the thing about this Joker. This Joker is funny and lighthearted, whatever he could do to get the joke, but he's also horrifying and creepy in a non-showy way, which is nice. And Mark Hamill is able to fluctuate between those Jokers fluently. 10 out of 10 Joker, one of the best to ever do it. Probably the best. An argument can be made that he could be the best.
A certain Drew Russell would fight you on that one.
I'm the Joker, baby.
That is true. The movie itself, it is a dumb cartoon for babies. It's got Bugs Bunny in it. It's lame. 3 out of 10. Why are we talking about this? This is a podcast about cinema. This isn't cinema. No, I'm just kidding. Like, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is probably, between this and Dark Knight, this might be my favorite Batman movie of all time. It is well written. It treats Batman as a three-dimensional character for the first time. Thankfully, not the last. There is an engaging, sad, dramatic love story between him and Andrea, and it's hits kind of the same beats that that I get with watching Casino Royale. Of seeing this iconic hero having the choice of not having to become the iconic hero, and that with the heartbreak that he's endured, and he is stuck doing the thing that we love seeing him do. And there's something relatable to that, of aspirations and disappointments. And on top of that, you have the Joker. And by God, even if it was a concession made with the studio, I don't think this movie would work quite as well without him. He is the symbolic representation of the life that Batman leaves now, which is tragic because we get glimpses of the life that he could have had, that he wanted to have, that he was choosing to leave behind one path for this path, and now that is ruined, and now the Joker is the physical manifestation of that lives in the ruins of that. Performances are all great. Animation is great. I mean, the budget has limitations, but I don't care. The designs are so good. The environments are so good. 10 out of 10. Great movie. Troy, take us home.
All right. So Jim Carrey in The Mask. I haven't seen it. He does seem to be a pretty cool Joker.
Wait, you haven't seen The Mask?
No, I haven't seen The Mask.
Arrest this guy. Kill this guy.
I got the gun in my head.
I have the big gun.
I have the big Joker gun in my head. I have the joy buzzer that he doesn't use to electrocute people. He just goes ding, which he uses to great effect in this movie. No, so I haven't seen it, but what I have seen is Mark Hamill's Joker. I've met Mark Hamill, and as a kid, he was my favorite actor because I'm like, how could you play someone so good as Luke Skywalker and then play the Joker as he plays him here? This is the Joker. If we don't delve into him and Kevin Conroy's performance enough, it's because Kevin Conroy is simply Batman. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. is simply Alfred, and Mark Hamill is the Joker. Because you know why they're the best versions? Because they're just guys. Like, that's the thing. There's this idea that the Joker needs to be some Hegelian, Marxist historical force, acting out some Hobbesian philosophy on view of society. But what I think Yes. Well, what the Bruce Timm animated version of Batman reveals is that Batman is a more Freudian, expressionistic world. The Joker belongs more to the world of Rousseau and Nietzsche, and how he is merely an individual person imposing his will on the world around him.
Well, modern philosophers combine Lacan and Freud with the philosophy of Marx and Hegel. So you could even say that the Joker is a postmodernist characters expressing our frustrations with modern capital.
Jan, you look like you have a lazy eye when you were doing that.
I was imitating Jean-Paul Sartre.
I saw one blood vessel get really big on Jan's face as he was saying that.
I used 120% of my brain power to form that sentence.
But what's great about all the characters in Batman the Animated Series is they're just guys. So the Joker, he is a person who, unlike other Batman the Animated Series characters or Batman or the Phantasm, who are broken by becoming these primal, Freudian, Jungian figures, the Joker has become liberated to be the worst person ever. And the way this movie shows him as an anonymous weird guy, he's not Jack Nicholson. He was just some random mook who, through his accident, just became this guy who burlesques everything you love. Just by existing, the Joker will ruin your life. He is the symbol of your ruined life, your ruined hopes, your ruined dreams. And he's so versatile. His versatility is his strength. The fact that he can be so funny and quoting I Love Lucy 1 second and straight up killing you the next as part of some random goof is so volatile and so unpredictable. And that's what makes the Joker scary, is that he is a guy who looks so happy and so on the surface what it means to be a well-adjusted person in today's society, with a quip, at ease with himself and not insecure, but he is the most insecure and most ill at ease person with himself. And he will just destroy you and laugh at you. So I think you guys who have listened to it know Mark Hamill plays all that to a T. Tim Curry would have been great, but he probably would have always seemed kind of menacing. Mark Hamill's real trick, and part of why I think his later Joker performances are kind of weird, is that he brings a friendliness to the Joker that I think you need. I think you kind of need to be seduced by the Joker, and I think Mark Hamill's Joker is the only one that really kind of seduces you a bit before just donkey kicking you in the balls.
You're making a pounding thing with your fist, and you said donkey kicking.
Oh, thank God! I thought that was Paul for a second.
I was about to use a different phrase, which I'm trying to use less of now that I've learned the origin. Anyway,
he's the kind of Joker that'll give you a reach around.
No, different Joker.
Oh, my
so
bad.
Anyway, I'm giving this Joker an infinity out of 10. The best design, the best role in the story, the best character, everything. So now onto the movie. So listeners, those of you who know me know that this is my 7th favorite film of all time. I watch it every Valentine's Day because why do we go to the movies? Why do we watch superhero media? It's to watch larger than life recreations of our own inner struggles. And this movie is that to a T. This movie is about regret. This movie's about loss. This movie's about time. This movie's about forming a genuine connection with someone and how that genuine connection is severed, but you're still out in the world and you have to deal with that. And how do you deal with setback? And how do you deal with loss? And do you allow that to destroy you, or does that allow you to prosper? And I love the way this movie starts off so grounded, and as it goes on and people's relationships sour, you see the Joker come in, you see the police, you see the explosions, the vibrancy of the world dies as this movie goes on, and it's brilliantly animated, brilliantly acted, brilliantly written by people who are going through their own stuff. Who would have thought that Kevin Conroy just saying, "Oh, Andrea," to Andrea Romano as a joke in voice recording sessions could lead to something of this vibrancy? There's very few movies that match this film's sense of tragedy. The Third Man, Citizen Kane.
I'm including The Mask in that canon.
Okay. There's such an economic sense of loss in just 76 minutes. It's all packed in so tight. And unlike live action movies that have to build up these big thematic questions of what does Batman represent? What does the Joker represent? A movie that just treats them as people and as just people who are broken irreparably and they can't be fixed and they're all just going through the endless cycle? Well, that's real life, baby, and there's nothing sadder than that as you watch it on Valentine's Day every year since 2008, wondering about what direction your life could have gone. So I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This is the best movie we probably will ever cover on this podcast. It's a masterpiece. There's a reason why it's grown so much in recent years. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Even if you know the whole plot, the visual storytelling and the artistry on display will knock you out. Godspeed, Bruce Timm, Eric Radomski, Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, Andrea Romano, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, Dana Delaney, and everyone. You did it. It's fantastic. Go watch it. Best Joker movie.
Fantastic. But this isn't the last time that we'll be talking about the animated Joker.
Wait, will the Joker return?
Oh, well, this Joker will in fact return next week because we are talking about the direct-to-video movie Batman Beyond: Return of the Jokerman.
Wait. Direct-to-video?
We had one rule to cover theatrical feature films, but we're going to break our one rule.
Oh my God. No. Joker.
We're so Joker.
We're so Joker. Anyway.
Wait. What was the Joker's trick for this movie? It was the baloney, right?
Oh, I know what it is. His trick was fucking convincing Paul that he wasn't capable of leading a fucking cult, even though Paul was actively like with his pants down and playing with himself when he was watching this.
That is the greatest trick that he pulled.
That's hearsay and rumor.
Anyway, tune in next week. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
I never even said.
Stay Joker. Stay cool.
I never even tried.
Stay classy, Gotham.
Joker, man.
Bye.
Goodbye.